going live.
Going live.
We are live.
Okay, we're live.
We're live. All right.
We should get
What?
We should get a countdown. Not on YouTube's app, but on what was it? What was it we used to use for a while? Taps.
Taps.
Had a countdown.
It was me.
We were always never ready for it either.
Yeah. Look at that. Once again, we're good at this. Welcome to another episode of Northwest Brewmeisters. Two guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beer.
I think you should too.
I'm Jamey.
I'm Steve. Welcome.
Is there more to that?
No, I think that's it.
You should write that down.
No, right? Yes, we are so scripted here.
Yes, so scripted. Absolutely scripted. Wait, where? What? Nice. All right, so we're going to brew beer because that's what we do.
And that's why we're broadcasting this.
Yeah, because it's fun, and once in a while people show up and actually do that.
Yeah.
So we got Steve's Resurrection Ale, which I love, and then and then Jamey, that's me. I'm gonna brew a Smokey Porter, which I love as well.
Is that the one that I was like, dude?
That's the one that you said I
Tasted
forgot. This is not a
Right.
brew.
I did. Yeah, I thought it was. It tasted. He did such a good job on that one. I did not even have the slightest notion that of a homebrew flavor in it. The reason I say that is you drink enough homebrew, you can kind of tell. Oh, you made this, didn't you? And it doesn't mean it's not a bad thing. It just has a less crisper feel or flavor. Maybe I don't know how to describe it really, but there's a difference between homebrew and commercial beer in many cases. Now, some home brewers obviously their beer comes up very, very good, but a lot of times I can tell even with my own beers that it's homebrew, has a homebrew flavor to it.
There it is.
But he did so good with that beer. I forgot it was homebrew.
I was very pleased by that comment. That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna share this because our production team is lacking.
Yeah.
Fargo guys, we don't have a production team at all. All right. So I got two channels, right? I share on this channel. There's this episode of Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, with Rowan Atkinson.
Right.
And he walks. You see his mail slot open. No, you see him walk out and close his door, and then the mail slot opens, and all these letters come in, right? Then he opens the door, and he walks in, and he looks down, and he's like, oh, like, surprise. I feel like that every time I go to the Northwest Brewmeisters Twitter channel, and my other channel has liked it, I'm like, oh, somebody, oh, it's me. Yeah. See, like right now. Ooh.
What's it do? Oh. What do you think of this beer?
I haven't tasted it yet. Hold on, I'm still trying to share. My social media skills are horrible. Okay, here. Home.
I'm on the
That's
fair
not
train.
Come on. There's no way that many things got shared in the last 15 seconds. Did I fail to share from the other channel? All right, tell them about your beer while I'm figuring this out.
All right, well, Resurrection Ale, for anybody who has tuned in the last year or so, has heard me talk about it a few times. I believe this is the 5th brewing that I've done with Resurrection Ale. And let me bring up my ingredients here. And I'll give you a quick recap of why we call it Resurrection Ale. All right, Resurrection Strong Ale. This is a English-style strong ale. It's typically 7.5% or so alcohol ABV. So it's high gravity, but it's not super hoppy. It's not not hoppy at all. In fact, it's kind of malty, but not heavy malty. Kind of in between. That's the best way I can describe it. Enough hops to give it some beer flavor it needs to have, but it's not all malty and grainy like some of those heavier beers.
It's not like a Belgian where it's like really super thick.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're drinking bread. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So this kit, if you want to call it a kit, so this was the very first recipe I ever made from scratch on my own. So I've been tweaking things, dialing in things here and there, trying some different things to get it kind of really wanted. But it uses 9.9 pounds of light malt extract. I think I used the Pilsen Light this time because I couldn't remember which light I used.
You used yellow. You grabbed it because we talked about the color of the beer, and you're like, I'm pretty sure this is.
Well, there's a Golden Light, and then there was the Pilsen Light. I think I grabbed Pilsen Light.
No, you grabbed the Golden.
Okay. Well,
You know,
apparently I grabbed Golden Light.
we're sitting here arguing while we could just
Let's go
walk
look
into
at
the
it.
kitchen
Right,
and
all
look
right,
at
let's
what
go
you
look at
have.
So I make this with either Golden Light malt extract or the Pilsen Light malt extract from Breeze. I've kind of been switching back and forth to see which one I like better. You could probably make it with amber, but it's going to come out a lot darker. It's not meant to be a real dark beer. It's meant to be, just kind of like this actually. Maybe it should be a little bit darker than this. This is a pale ale here. So that's my fermentables. 1 pound of Crystal 20, which is very light, and a 1/4 pound of chocolate malt. I tend to favor the British chocolate malt now. I'm trying to make this as British as possible. In fact, looking at my notes now, my original recipe I was using Northern Brewer hops at Cascade. Those aren't British. So this time I'm using Fuggles and East Kent Goldings. Try to make it as British as possible and see if I like the flavor better. So I'm going to put in 2 ounces of Fuggles at the 60-minute, and then I'll put in an ounce of East Kent Golding hops at the, I had 10 or 15. I think I'll try it at the 15-minute this time. Go from there. My yeast is a Y yeast London 3. And yeah, that's it. So it's a pretty simple recipe, not complex. But in the end, it comes up pretty good. It's it averages a 7.5% ABV. I don't know what it would be on the Lovabond scale. Haven't got that deep into it yet.
Purple.
Yeah,
Yes,
purple.
Lovabond purple. But it's not purple.
No.
I don't know if I drink a purple beer.
That'd be kind of weird.
I mean, they make green beer for St. Patrick's Day, different places.
I remember seeing, I think it was Heinz or Del Monte, one of them put out these colored ketchup, for kids. Like one was purple, one was green.
Did anyone like them?
I tried the green one, because I think Brandy bought it for the kids once. It's just like, it tastes just like ketchup, but it was just like, it's weird.
It is strange about foods. Like, for example, do you like, just in general, like eggs and toast and bacon?
Yeah.
Your dinner.
Sure.
Now take the eggs. You cook everything. Take the eggs, take the toast, take the bacon. Shove it into a blender, pour it in a glass.
Oh, not happening, man.
Right?
Not happening.
Same food. It is exactly the same food. But no, it's just not right.
I want to enjoy the experience, not drink it.
I mean, there are times when I'm down with that just because I'm in a rush and I'm not a foodie. But no lie, man, there are some things that's like, so for example, squid intestines, which I do not like. I don't think squid intestines.
Yes, he's had squid intestines before.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say somebody in Japan eats these things because they were for sale. You can buy them and take them home and do whatever it is you do with squid intestines. It's possible that maybe you're not supposed to eat them raw. But everything else in that little chunk of the grocery store was sushi, like 100% eat this raw fish.
Like it's twitching on the
I
shelf.
mean, it had a toothpick in it. It was like, obviously, the toothpick is the international free sample sign.
Right.
Take the toothpick, try this. Yeah, no. It's like, and I know that people eat this, and I know that they don't die. There's lots of people in Japan.
Right.
So obviously they don't die. I mean, they die, but you know what I mean. It's
probably not from a squid intestine.
Right. It's not poisonous food, but yet I'm just like, no, not for me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I tried a lot of times when I was in the Navy and I would, visit various countries. I would at least once try local cuisine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like, man, this is amazing. Other times it's like, nope, not digging it.
Well, you know what? To be honest, for the most part, it's like, okay, so that's what they eat here.
Yeah.
And I would generally, when I was overseas, I ate whatever was local. I tried really hard.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to get a burger? No. I mean, yes, in 7 months, 8 months, because they're going to extend us. In 8 months, I will happily have a burger because I'll be in the United States.
Don't worry, the forward galley will have them every day for you.
Yes, all the time.
All day.
All day, every day, except for mid-rats, in which case you'll get desiccated chicken and uncooked rice with single serving ketchup and mustard. Yes, that's oddly specific because that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's like
really.
People who work at night need to eat too. You people.
All right.
What about food? This is not food. Sorry.
No, it might be sustenance, but it's not food.
All right, let's talk about my beer.
Real quick though, Resurrection. Reason it's called Resurrection Ale is the first time I brewed it. We always take a little taste test as we transfer a racket and keg it. We both thought, oh no, it's way too sweet. Well, let's see what happens. So we carbonated it, and in the end, it was Resurrected because it came out good.
It was amazing.
We didn't have to dump it. So that's the quick version of Resurrection Ale.
I wasn't quite as disappointed as Steve, but I like sweeter beers. In fact, most of my beers turn out sweeter.
That's true.
That's it.
I kind of do have a track record of sweeter beers.
Yeah, and it's just must be the recipes, the way I build them, because I know for a fact that my fermentation process is just fine. And I have a temperature controlled. It's there. I got a
nice
heating.
setup, huh?
It's like this is.
I might
get
do that too sometime. One day.
Sweeter. Yeah, your birthday's I'll find you a free freezer. Happy birthday! Where'd you find this? Don't ask.
You don't want to know, man.
Yeah, don't ask. I cleaned it. I cleaned it. Bleach and Star Sand. It's okay.
It's good. It's good.
Yes, it smells, but that'll go away. No, it might be free, but it will be good.
Right.
All right, so here we go. I am gonna brew my Smokey Porter because I like it. And I have 3 dark beers in right now because we did the stout and then we both did Scotch ales, didn't we?
We did,
Yeah,
yeah.
you did a wee heavy, which you'll tell about that in a minute. And
Boy, we have a story for that one.
yeah, so you did the wee heavy, which is the wee heavy. There's 3 levels of Scotch ales, really. Why are we talking? Well, let me get the beer and then we'll talk because we're just sitting here with buckets of water.
It's not going to boil itself.
It is not going to boil itself. All right, so here we go. Y yeast 1028, which is London ale yeast. It's a British.
I think it's just regular one now. Yeah.
Right. So I got 2 packets of those because this is a little bit of a heavier beer. It's not as heavy as Resurrection, and it's not as heavy as the 2 beers because this is only 6.6 pounds of Brice Amber liquid malt extract. My hops are Willamette. Throw them in right at 60, just at the beginning of the boil, and then EKG Goldings. That might be redundant. I think it's East Kent Goldings, right?
Yeah.
So EKG Goldings would be EKG Goldings. Kind of like the La Trattoria. Did you see that movie?
Oh, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So East Kent Goldings hops at the 10-minute mark. Again, mine isn't going to be super hoppy either. It's porter. It's not supposed to be super hoppy. Crystal 150, kind of the darkest of the dark there. I think it gets darker than that, but still, it's pretty dark.
160, I think you said it's dark at 180.
7 ounces of that. 7 ounces of golden naked oats added, pretty much because I like the word naked. Black malt, 12 ounces. British chocolate malt, because I actually agree that British chocolate malt, and it's better. And then Rausch, which is a smoked grain, and that adds the smoky flavor to this. All right, so tell them the story. First of all, tell them about the differences in the Scotch ales, and then tell them the story.
I actually don't know the differences.
Okay, well, you tell them the story about your wee heavy, and I'll just say the wee heavy is the strongest of the Scotch ales. And go. And I'm going to get this flame going.
All right, so I made a wee heavy stout, as Jamey said.
Wait, where is my bag of grain?
Lunch.
Oh, oh boy, here we go with the jokes. Continue.
Oh, wait. So, as stated, I made a wee heavy, and if I recall the ingredients, it had 9 pounds of dry malt extract. I think it was a light dry malt extract.
It was all powder.
Yeah, it was all pure powder. And then I also had a pound of corn sugar in it. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the steeping grains were. Probably some crystal, you know.
This was an internet recipe, right? Not something you built yourself.
No, yeah, I found it on the internet. I tweaked it a little bit though. I can't remember exactly what I did, but I tweaked it a little bit. Oh, you know what? I think I might still have it up on the phone.
Probably sitting on a tab.
Right.
You're as bad as my kid Hyman. Tabs.
I like my tabs, man. And
5,000 tabs.
yes, here we go. So, oh, that's right. Okay, so it had 6 ounces of special B, 4 ounces of biscuit, and then 2 ounces of chocolate malt. And I think I went with the British again on that since it's a Scottish ale, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My hops were EKG, East Kent Golding, so both at the 60 and then again at 20 minutes. My yeast was, well, here this guy's calling for 2 vials of WLP 028 Edinburgh ale yeast. I don't know what that is. I guess what a brand.
Vials?
Yeah, I guess it's a liquid yeast maybe.
Gotta be.
So I just used 2 packs of Scotch ale yeast from I don't remember the number. I think it's 1560 or something like that from white yeast. And then I used a yeast nutrient this time around. Excuse me. So So I put in, gosh, what was it, like 6 teaspoons or something? Tablespoons?
You put in like a lot. Not a lot. You put in on the lower end of whatever the scale was, but you put in enough, that's for sure.
Right, so it's half a teaspoon per gallon.
And I think you put in a whole teaspoon.
Right, I think I did. Or I put a couple in. So
Anyway,
anyway,
you put a good amount in.
so very high gravity beer. My original gravity reading was 1.092. So I mean that is a high gravity beer. And so with 2 packs of yeast and the yeast nutrient, brewed the beer, put it to bed. It was starting to sing. Well, I wake up the next morning, maybe it was the third morning, back to a text picture from my daughter. I forget what she said, but it's kind of like, your beer's acting funny, or your beer looks funny. And so I run downstairs and I have pretty much a volcano because it was just so active in it. 6.5 gallon glass carboy, just a maelstrom of activity in there.
Well, that's a good word.
Right? It's going crazy, just coming out, just pumping CO2 into the house, and just foam everywhere. And so of course I'm swapping out. I sanitize the water lock and swap them out. I had to do that 2 more times before it finally calmed down. So I learned from this. I'm going to do the water lock with the hose method into its own little water vent kind of thing, at least for the first 3 or 4 days, in case this batch goes crazy. So I want to use a yeast nutrient again and see what it does, see if it makes a difference in the beer. I've always used 2 packs of yeast in the Resurrection, so that's not new there. Just the yeast nutrients, a new thing for me. And I'll probably also use some Irish moss to clarify. And then I'll go ahead and take the last 15 minutes as well. I think it's a teaspoon that goes in there. Or if you don't want to use Irish moss, you can use a Whirl Flock, which looks like a salt tablet kind of. You buy it at the brew supply store. And we have flamage.
All right, let it begin.
Since Jamey's beer is a 60-minute boil, as long as with mine, he's going to start. And the reason we do that is his burner heats faster than mine. I think it's because there's more of a gap between the flame on mine and the bottom of the pot compared to his burner, so his wire heats a lot faster. So we only have 1 wort chiller, which we share obviously, and so we want to put enough of the gap in our brewing that we have time to clean it and get it ready for the next guy. Now when he does a 90-minute boil for some of his beers, I actually go first.
Because otherwise we'd be here till the next morning. Brewing beer.
So,
Scotch
real quick, Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh yeah!
First of January 2023.
And let me tell you, is there a better way to kick off the new year than by brewing beer?
Happy Brew Year, man.
Happy. Oh, that was terrible. I love it. Happy Brew Year.
Happy Brew Year.
Happy Brew Year.
Happy Brew Year. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we just lost subscribers, which is bad because we only have like 20. we can't afford to be doing that. All right. Wow. So how's this beer?
It's okay.
Good. I have yet to taste it.
I mean, it's nothing we made. It's an Alaskan one of the pale ales they have. They brought over a multiple pack.
Is it the pale ale or the amber?
I think that was the pale ale. The bottle's over there.
It's blue-ish. Tealish blue.
Both of us are out of homebrew. We've been out of homebrew for a while, but the good thing is we have beers in the pipeline, so we'll be back up to stock here pretty soon. So we've actually had to, dare I say it, buy beer.
We had to buy beer
the last couple weekends,
Which actually thought, we should hit Greg's
Yeah.
often and just buy, just 1 or 2 bottles just to taste.
Stuff like we used to,
Yeah, just as what else is out there? What are other people doing?
Maybe even take some influence from. You never know. Jay and I used to go to this local beer store here in town where you could buy individual bottles. You didn't have to buy 6 packs or whatever. And he would always carry all kinds of craft brew and micro brews and stuff. Things you wouldn't be able to get in a lot of places.
And you would buy them one bottle
at a time.
Which was super nice.
So we'd go buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever we're in the mood for, different kinds of beers, and just drink them and talk about them as we hang out. And at one time we were taking pictures of them, I was taking pictures of the bottle, and we were going to use it later, maybe on a website or something. That never happened. But
tragic accident destroyed our archive, though.
Yeah, a couple times.
I have a crack in my phone. You can barely see it, and it's only there. And I'm being very careful with the phone, but I saw it. I was like, I can't feel it with my fingernail, but it never goes away no matter what. It's like, yeah, that's a crack. Eventually. And so the wife is her, we need to change her cell phone provider. Changing cell phone provider is a pain.
Right.
It's just a pain. So I think, here's what I paid off my phone. My phone is mine. This chunk of plastic, steel, rubber, whatever else is in here is mine. You can't have it. Unlock it automatically.
Right.
Don't wait for me to call you and say, hey, could you stop holding my thing hostage? Apparently they have to once you call them, but still, it's just like, it should be automatic, dude. I completely understand the concept behind locking, especially if you're offering some incredible deal. It's like iPhone 7,000, only $1 with a 2-year contract, which I know 2-year contracts are kind of out the window, but 0% financing no matter what. Some just crazy good deal. You go buy the phone, and then in a month, he's just like, I'm going with this carrier, and they're stuck with the bill. Like, no. It's like, so I understand the concept of a lock phone. I just really feel like it should be automatic. You pay it off, there you go. Phone is yours. Unlock.
I used to be back when Sprint was a Sprint, and we were on Sprint at one time. I got really irritated with them because I went to go get a phone. I just wanted to buy the phone. They wouldn't let me just buy the phone. Like I had to do like a plan. I'm like, I've already got an account. Can I just pay for the damn phone?
Yeah,
my
kid. Same thing happened. It's like, I just want to buy a phone. Oh, you can't buy a phone. What do you mean I can't buy a phone?
I can't buy a phone.
Yeah, I just want to buy a phone. Oh, it's like that can't be.
Yeah, I dumped them years ago. Unfortunately, my wife stuck with them, and then now they were T-Mobile absorbed them.
Yeah.
So now she's on T-Mobile, and I'm a Ting. I've been with them for years. So anyway, but I like about Ting is you buy a phone to them, you buy the phone to them.
You just buy the phone.
You buy the phone, yeah, it's your phone. It's already unlocked. It's your phone. What was cool about them was when I switched over initially, one of my Sprint phones I bought, I was able to keep that same phone and my phone number too. It's all transferred over. So it's not the case for every phone, but that particular model, and then they were able to keep my phone number, so it was neat. But
well, that's cool. So you have the ability to just buy a phone.
Yeah.
Like just buy a phone from Ting. It's like, I have no intention of using your service.
Yeah, you don't even have to be a customer. Like a regular subscriber, you could just buy the phone you want, and then, hey, I'm gonna use this phone over here. That's where I got this one. This was a probably obsolete now. This was an iPhone 12 Max Pro, whatever. When that was the new hotness.
How big is that thing?
Pretty. I almost didn't like it when I first got it, but then over time I started to like it. I like it now, actually.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than mine. I actually chose this one because the 11 was out when I was shopping for this one, and I chose this one for exactly that reason. I was just like, I want to be able to unlock my phone and do it all with one hand.
Right.
And I can kind of, if I really balance it, and it's like, oh no, drop it, okay. I can kind of do it. I would like the phone to be like maybe that much smaller and that much shorter.
Yeah, when I was using Android, I prefer the smaller form factor phones. So I cut you out there.
No, that's okay. No, but it's exactly, it's the same thing though. It's like, I don't like the big chunk of thing in my hand. No, I realized
it grew on me. At first I was like, because I never played with an iPhone until I got it in the mail from Ting, and I'm like, oh man, this thing's huge.
I mean, the cell phone market had to figure itself out for because at one point, they're getting smaller and smaller, and then there's like that Ben Stiller movie Zoolander, and his phone was like this big, and it's like, okay. Some of the phones were ridiculously small to the point where then there were I think it's Cricket is the old person's phone.
Cricket, yeah, I know you're talking. They're another like.
Are they the old person? There is a company out there that markets themselves to like the 60+ crowd.
Maybe it's Cricket, I don't know.
And it is a simple phone.
Right.
It makes phone calls, and I think it does basic texting.
Right.
But it has really big buttons that you can push, like actual buttons. And it's all on purpose. It's very much, and it was invented It was actually invented by the guy who was part of the foundation of the cell phone itself.
Oh, okay.
And I forget who that guy was, but now he's old, right? When he helped invent, I don't know if he invented the cell phone, but when he helped, he was part
of it.
he was in on the ground floor of the concept of a cellular phone. I know that much. Anyways, when he did that, well, now he's old. You know, he's 65, 70, and so he's like, and if you're watching this and you're 65 and 70 and you're offended by me calling you old, just embrace it. It's okay. Old is good. Ask Bill Maher.
Age is only a number, old is an attitude.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, tell that to my shoulder, my hip, and my back in the morning.
oh, I'm getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I don't like this.
It's okay to be old.
It is. In fact, there's some good things about being old. When you have that emotional impulse to make policy that is destructive 40 years down the line, you know not to do it.
40 years later.
40 years from now. Yeah, you saw what happened when people went off half-cocked and stuff. All right. And I would say that's as close as we'll get to politics, but wait till we get to Jamey alone.
Yeah,
So,
there'll be some of that here because I've changed my sanitization strategy a little bit. A few brew days ago, I switched over to using Star San as opposed to bleach, and Star San does the job with within like a few minutes. Whatever you try to sanitize is ready to go. It's food grade, industrial food level sanitizer.
Right, food grade
So
sanitizer.
I just fill a bucket with some water. We throw the utensils and crap in there, and then pull it out a few minutes later, let it dry, and boom, go to town. And the reason I'm doing all this a little bit later is I also have 2 beers to move tonight. I'm going to rack a beer and I'm going to keg a beer. And I used to do that on Fridays.
I did that yesterday.
I used to do that on Fridays, and so it would always be this. It was always the same Friday that's brew day because the 2-week periods. So keg, rack, whatever. Usually both in the same day on Friday. Use my Star San, and then use more Star San again on brew day. And that's not cheap, man. And so I decided to just kind of do everything on Sundays now, and so I will use the same sanitization water with the solution to do the keg and stuff. Not the keg's already done, but do the carboy for when I rack over the wee heavy, and then I'm going to keg the Russian Imperial Stout. The keg was sanitized a week ago, something like that, 2 weeks ago. And I use a SIP, that clean in place, cleaning the powder stuff in the keg.
So that's funny, because you're like, that's good. It's like you said, that's going to happen too, because I changed my sanitizer, and I was like, what does your sanitizer have to do with politics? It's like, oh, Jamey alone is going to happen.
Yes.
I was just like, what does that have to do with?
We'll be spending time alone with our non-audience right now.
That's okay. All right, is my iPhone locked? Yes, it is. I was actually kind of trying to think about that, because this is things that have been paid off for years.
Excuse me.
Scotch ale. Let's talk about Scotch ale.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I didn't really know the answer to the.
Well, there's 3
different
types. Let's go with this guy. Hop culture. I'm gonna steal this from hop culture. Here we are. All right. What exactly are Scotch ales? And
They are an advertisement.
yes. All right. Scotch isn't just served neat or on the rocks. Did you know you can fill up a pint glass with Scotch? Actually, you could do that before, but oh yeah. Like 112, not.
I just don't want you to overshoot. It's always
Yeah,
like 180
that happens
degrees.
to me a lot too. I often do overshoot. So anyway, Scotch ale is an esoteric type of beer, super malty, rich caramel flavors, and boozy ABV. Yeah, I'm reading fast.
Leisure.
Because this is not the important stuff. Okay, your creative writing. Good job. You are a very good writer. I'm proud of you. Get to the strong part. Part of the strong ale family, originated in Edinburgh, Scotland, in the 1800s. Interesting. So, born in the United Kingdom, a region unsuited for highlighting hops, the Scotch ale focuses instead on a more readily available ingredient, malt. And that's something about some of the UK beers that don't Well,
Hey,
Chase.
who's here?
Hey, Chase.
I was like, I see a name, but I can't read the name.
It is Energizer Beast 9C.
Definitely Chase. What's
Definitely
up, dude?
Chase. What up, Chase? So anyways, and I want to do this one time just on a lunch. Oh, we never turned the dryer off. Hope you enjoyed that sound the whole broadcast.
Totally forgot the thing was running, man.
Yeah, that's all right. In any case, so Scotch ales, they didn't have hops. Don't grow really well up there, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure they do now because they figured out farming methods. Obviously, we have UK hops, right? In any case, so they would use other like heather and different spices to kind of get rid of the.
That's why we like the name heather.
Sweet. Well, it's a nice thing. And yeah. Let's go with that. I think we just thought of that right now.
Yes.
Any case, point being, there are some ancient recipes out there for some British beers, particularly from Scotland, that don't use hops. I would like to try one.
Interesting.
I would like to do it at the gallon level because, from what I hear, hops is a preservative,
Right.
so they don't last as long.
I see. Right. Good point.
Beers made with hops will last a long time,
Sure.
especially refrigerated and sealed off from the air. I don't know how long a beer made with heather. The plant's not the girl. What's wrong with you? You went there. Don't even try and claim innocence on this one. Liar! All right, so anyways, Scotch ales. I'm trying to get through this as quickly because I think I've read this article. Here we go. Scottish ale versus Scotch ale versus wee heavy. Similar in sound and malt profile, Scotch ales and Scottish ales have one main difference. Oh, and when a brewer says wee heavy, they're really just referring to a Scotch ale. They're interchangeable. Okay. So we can say there's three. Maybe there's only two, but you've got Scotch ale, Scottish ale, and wee heavy, and it all has to do with ABV. So Scotch ales or wee heavies, higher ABV, at least 6%, makes them a touch sweeter. Scottish ales, on the other hand, are lower ABV, 3 to 5%, closer to an English pale ale level, and so they're still going to taste really malty, but probably not as sweet. So get ready for a sugar rush with that bomb you made in there.
It's gonna be fun.
It'll be delicious.
We're gonna take a little taste of it today, so.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna rack it.
That's one of my favorite things to do. So anyways, just wanted to mention that. I mean, I realized it took like almost 40 minutes of broadcast to get to that point, but that's the way. 32 minutes of broadcast.
I have a fire stick.
Ooh, fire stick.
I think you're probably close.
I am at 140.
I'm getting ready.
I need to kind of start backing off my flame so I don't go shooting up to
Right.
180. I think the highest I've ever hit is 170. I was like,
Too much.
I turned the flame off. Oh, there. Now we're down to 160. Well, stay there. You can just stay right there. Sorry, that was Scottish ales versus Scotch ales versus wee heavies, and you went for a wee heavy, which is
a Scotch ale.
Yeah, a Scotch ale, or some people the guy that wrote that obviously does not differentiate.
Right.
But some people do. So 3 or 2 styles, but
it makes it kind of fun if you differentiate, like, oh, that's a wee heavy. Because
it's all about
ABV.
All about the ABV.
Right.
Looks like Chase left. We're back down to 1 cheddar.
No, my friend Josh, he has a new little Scottish chair. It was funny. We were making, all right, I got it. Get to the highlights. And making fun, having good times at the poor dog's expense.
So I got to tell you, I've been watching quite a bit of the Critical Drinker lately.
Yeah, that's
Just
right.
for fun. Yeah, there are some things that we can't repeat on this broadcast. At least not this shallow in. Once we have 4 or 5 beers in us, we'll probably end up repeating them.
Sure.
But he is a lot of fun, and apparently, so you're familiar with the Critical Drinker and how he sounds.
Right.
Apparently, that was like just almost an accident.
Oh.
So the Critical Drinker as a channel has been around for quite a while. His name is Will Jordan, and I was watching an interview with him with 2 other guys. I think it's Triggered or something, quasi conservative type thing, type deal. In any case, I was watching it, and he was telling the story about, he kind of got in when YouTube was just kicking off. He was kind of part of that and stuff. Anyhow, he's like, I don't know if I had a few too many or if something was going on, but he just came on with this thick, boozy, half-drunk Scottish accent. I mean, he's from Scotland, so he has a Scottish accent. But if you listen to him talk on a normal, I am Will Jordan having an intelligent conversation, he sounds nothing like the critical drinker.
Gotcha.
The critical drinker and Will Jordan, while inhabiting the same body, are not the same person.
Two different personas.
That is definitely a persona that he puts on. But I guess that was not the original critical drinker persona, but it came up, and that was the video that just went. And he was smart enough to say, okay, we do it that way. And I got to admit, it's like kind of like listening to the Ozman, Oh, blimey, there she is. And she's picking that one. No, that one's too fat. That one's not lean enough. And oh my God, there comes Bruno. And he's like, look, I don't want salad. I just want to eat. And he just, it's the two lions hitting the water buffalo. Don't you remember that one? And just, well, maybe not.
No,
Okay.
I just don't remember it.
All right, I failed. I'm easily entertained. You're kind of highbrow to me.
No. It sounds funny. I just don't remember it.
Oh, so after we are looking up some Ozman reviews because tell you what, he is funny. I mean, he's but he does things like that. In that particular one, it was a lioness, and he was doing the whole she's shopping for dinner thing, and he was playing off the stereotypes. So, I don't like that. I don't like that. Then the husband comes in and says, "This is what we're eating," and leaves. And yeah, that's when the male lion just.
That's good.
But it was funny.
Yeah, let's check it out later.
And there are some other Ozmans that he does. He does quite a few. And they're really funny. I wouldn't watch them with my mother. She wouldn't appreciate it. My mother did not appreciate Nano War of Steel. How could you not appreciate those guys? They're hilarious. With the kindler, gentler Odin, god of IKEA. How can that not be funny?
Right.
I mean, that was hilarious. Look up Nano War of Steel. It's funny. Napalm Records. Right up there with Hammerfall. Hammerfall is under Napalm Records.
Oh, okay.
You should definitely look up Hammerfall Dominion. And I'm not going to tell you anything more. You just need to listen. You need to watch that one.
Watch it and check it out.
Not even for the metal part of things. Just trust me. Hammerfall Dominion. Watch the video. You'll love it. Or you won't.
You're going to go, really? You sent me here for this?
Yeah, that's probably what you're really going to do. Can you see?
So, you got flame.
Yeah.
Not a very big one, but you have one.
Well, that's good, because I am right at about 145 or so. Apparently something happened. I got a little condensation inside the thing. That's okay. These things are like $12.
Yeah, not too bad.
All right, flame on, dude, because I'm starting my timer right now.
Flamey flame. All right, actually, I'm going to give us a little bit more of a cushion. About 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Because remember that one time we had a weird, all of a sudden we caught up with each other. I don't know how that happened.
Yes, I do. That was some impressive switch, swap, chill out, sanitize, put in a bucket. Dude, yeah, I was proud of us. We managed to not destroy anything.
Right? I don't think we even had a boil over that time.
We didn't, which is, why do you say we? It's always you.
Yeah.
I almost had one last week.
I'm probably gonna just jinx myself, even though I'm not really superstitious.
No, you didn't, because I'm gonna watch that like a freaking hawk.
well, also I shouldn't have to get up so much either. So hopefully. But I mopped the garage, as funny as that sounds, to get up all the little sticky spots, and forgot
that spot over there.
Forgot one over there. Which wasn't a boil over. That was just dribbling while pouring into your carboy. But now that I've cleaned it, I'm probably going to replace it with some boil over. No, we're not going to let that happen because it's hoppy brew here, and we are on point.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Totally on point. Yeah, we're done. We are so screwed. Boilovers, infected beers, messes, blown up carboys. It's all coming for us. Thanks, Steve.
Beer-mageddon.
Beer-mageddon. What's actually, that doesn't sound too bad. Beer-mageddon.
Beer-mageddon.
How much beer? Beer-mageddon beer. All right, I'm definitely at 150, but I started my timer. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
28 minutes and 27 seconds.
Sweet. I'm gonna get set up for my stuff. Get my timer ready.
So, I gotta tell you,
There we go. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna subscribe to an OnlyFans.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, what's the topic?
It's a Big Bill's Garage production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Oh.
No, you know Bill from work.
Yeah.
So the joke there was.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, totally joking, because he's not doing an OnlyFans. Because when he said OnlyFans, everybody's.
Oh, I thought it was like nudity and.
Well, yeah, because that's what OnlyFans is. There is no clean, decent, wholesome OnlyFans, is there?
I know.
I think that's straight just a porn site.
Every time I hear of OnlyFans, it's like, yeah, just girls, probably guys too, but girls just.
Yeah, with 2 subscribers.
Girls showing themselves to subscribers,
Yeah. Let's just be honest, how the male psyche works and the guy and the geek, well, they might have gay subscribers.
Probably.
That's one of the reasons that diseases, STDs tend to zip around in the male homosexual community more than in the female. Because you've got 2 people who have high sex drives.
Oh, right.
I mean, that really is that.
No, it's like,
it's like, no, it's not because you're gay, it's because you're a dude
have a lot of sex.
and you want to get laid, and he's a dude and he wants to get laid, and there's none of that female I don't want to get laid thing to put the brakes on. So you're going for it.
Headache,
Yeah, well, really, I mean, think about it.
No, you're right. Yeah, 2
women
males
do not
with
have
sex drives are gonna be out having sex more.
Yeah, women don't have near the sex drive as men do. I mean, for one thing, sex is more risky for women all the way around.
Yeah, pregnancy.
I mean, well, just from the very beginning, right? Let's say you're just doing the hookup thing. You don't know this guy,
right?
He could be an axe murderer. He could want things that you don't want. I mean, and then when you say no, he could turn into the axe murderer. He wasn't an axe murderer before, but you
rejected him.
Yes, and you triggered him, and so that's your fault, by the way, not his fault, because triggered is the person who does the triggering, not the person who is triggered. Remember that. It is always, unless you're a woman, in which case it's never your fault. This got very confusing. Dancing the edge of controversy again. I love it. All right, pulling back, though. So, long and the short, from the beginning all the way to pregnancy, sex is a higher risk activity for a woman. So guys, and that's just part of it. And I just think that we are wired differently. Guys want to get laid. Guys are naturally, polygamous.
Right.
Just like a real base state, right?
No, I know what you mean.
I mean, whether through culture, religion, or just practicality, we kind of figure out that polygamy is actually not advantageous. It is good to find one woman, one mother for your children, one woman you protect, one woman you take care of. I mean, really, do you want a harem? Think about that.
No.
How hard is it to please just one wife? Oh my goodness. Do you think 7? I would be dead. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
It makes me think of that show Sister Wives, which I don't watch, but I've heard of it.
Sister Wives?
Sister Wives.
Is it Mormon?
Probably. I really don't know, man. It's one of those weird reality TV shows, that's, for all I know, it's probably scripted, but they try to pass it off as reality.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy has multiple wives. And I don't know if the wives are actually sisters or if it's more of a metaphorical sister, like sisters, I really don't know. Maybe they are all sisters, I'm not sure. But they don't, but what I understand about the show, Brandy was telling me a little bit about it. I don't think they all have these group things. I think okay, today's Tuesday, so that's your day. Excuse me. Today you're on Wednesday. I'm with you on Thursday. I don't know how many wives he has. If it's even real, it's probably bull anyway.
So aside from the pragmatic point of view, right, which is, I mean, seriously, just the pragmatism of supporting a family where you could theoretically have 7 infants all in the same month.
No way.
I mean, think about it. So take that aside, and then take religion, any of the religions, right? Well, I guess
too much. Too much.
I don't know about Judaism. I think is Islam a polygamous religion? I don't know.
I don't think it is because I've heard
At
of
least
women,
it isn't now.
I've heard of women getting stoned to death for cheating on their husbands.
Yeah, but
I guess
Islam
polygamy-
has
I guess
Islam has a
polygamy is-
heavy double standard.
Right.
I mean,
But I guess that's not really cheating. I mean, if they're, I guess I don't know, man. I really don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, without not even caring about offending any Muslims watching, I mean, I know Islam has a much different standard when it comes to the sexes between men and women.
Right.
So I guess we'll just talk about Christianity then. So Christianity is a monogamous religion.
Right.
One man, one wife, forever. That is Christianity. Point being, take that away. All right, so let's get rid of religion, get rid of the pragmatic having 7 infants all in 1 month, or even 3 infants. Let's say a guy has 3 wives.
Imagine having
Right.
all of them having twins
Wow.
at the same time. Dude.
Yeah. So the medical bills and things like that. So, but just take all that away and then say, why is polygamy illegal? Or why should it be illegal? Like, do you have a reason?
Oh, I don't know, man.
No, I can't think of a reason.
Right.
I mean, seriously, it's like, so particularly, when they legalized, gay marriage and stuff, and
Oh, what am I doing? Oh, well,
looks like you're doing a cold steep this time.
it's fine.
Do you think there's been a big difference?
I don't think so, honestly. I don't really remember because I'm not really noting anything, on my notes like, oh, this was a cold steep, oh, this was a hot steep,
So,
Well, it's always a hot steep, but starting off as a cold steep.
so when they found that that gay marriage should be legal, right? That it was a constitutionally protected thing. I mean, really, the basis for marriage at that point was emotion, right? And that's 100%. You want to marry that person, and that person wants to marry you. And so once you do that, it's like, well, then why can't that woman marry both those men? Or
Right,
why
right.
can't that man marry both those women? As long as everybody's consensual, it's like, yeah, we're one family unit. It's like, really, once you get rid of the religion aspect, because let's be honest, the United States government knows nothing of pragmatism. But once you get rid of that, there's no strong reason to deny a polygamous relationship. But yet it is. It's still illegal. Of course, it was illegal because there was a heavy religious component, in the United States for pretty much the United States' entire existence. And actually the truth is there were strong religious components in all the countries up until at least recently. And when I say recently, I mean like the last 100 years. Even the European countries, which kind of went through Enlightenment phases and things like that, even they had a lot of, like the Catholic Church or the Episcopalian Church in England, or the Church of England, or whatever church is in England, the official Church of England. Anyways, those churches had heavy sway in those countries.
Gotcha.
And in Middle Eastern countries, Islam had heavy sway. I know nothing of the Asian countries.
I mean, depending where you're at, probably like, Taoism and Shinto type stuff,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I know India has.
India's got its own thing.
Yeah, well, the caste system, I don't know how religious that is or whether that's just a
But
cultural thing.
Hinduism's the primary religion
Right.
in India.
But it's hard because Hinduism has so many gods.
Right.
I mean,
The big pantheon.
yeah, it's not like Islam or Judaism or Christianity where there's one God, and like a set of rules. It's just like, and some of those Eastern religions are kind of vague. Like seriously, Islam. Well, let's just take Christianity because I know Christianity the best. We have a nice concrete set of rules. They're called the 10 Commandments. Bam, right there, concrete set of rules. They're spelled out for you. And I know nothing of Hinduism or Buddhism.
Buddhism, yeah. Buddhism's probably big Eastern Asian,
I know a lot of it's enlightenment and just be good to people type stuff.
Right.
Which I think the Sikhs are kind of like that. I mean, their religion is kind of this vague, just be nice to people thing. It's like, which on the one hand, it's like, okay, that should be easy enough to do, but on the other hand, it's like that really doesn't give you much of a guide for life.
You're about to separate here, aren't you? Because you're gonna be the douche.
Wrapped up like a douche. I know it's a deuce. It's wrapped up like a deuce. All right, we need more beer, my friend.
We do.
I will get more beer while you desperately try and
Beer tender? Beer tender?
Beer tender! Beer tender! All right, and this time we're gonna drink green.
The green beer.
The green ones. All right, so this is Island Ale, whatever Island Ale.
Island ale, huh?
Yes.
I guess you can apply it to whatever island you want to apply it to.
All right, well there you go.
There's a beer topper on the cooler if you want to use that, or you can use your whatever you want to use.
Is it this magnet thing?
Yeah, the magnet. The magnet thing. Yeah.
What's wrong with you, man?
It was a Christmas present.
It doesn't matter.
It was like a dad gift Christmas present.
Boy, howdy.
Not from work. You know?
Of course. Why do the people at your job hate you?
Yeah, there was a couple. Thank you. There was a couple other things in
You're
there.
poor or what?
Island ale.
Yup.
Ale brew with tangerine, passion fruit, and guava. All right. Well,
Okie dokie. Let's see what's
this is
about
going to
to
be
happen.
probably going to be sweet. Maybe it's supposed to make us think of like Hawaii or Guam or something, you know?
Yeah,
Some kind of like Polynesian thing, maybe.
Well, it has like a toucan, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Not toucan. Actually, no. You know what that is?
It looks like a puffin
A puffin. Yeah.
with a toucan's beak.
Right.
I mean, because puffins' beaks aren't that color, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's definitely a puffin.
I don't own puffins, so
I don't think you're allowed to own puffins.
probably not.
Yeah, it kind of tastes like a smoothie.
Kind of easy.
I'm actually going to say I'm not impressed with that one. It's thick. Like smoothie.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Kind of weird smoothie flavor. Smoothie beer. Like they just chunked a mango, passion fruit, peach smoothie into the boil.
With the boil. All right, I'm almost at 100.
Well, I thought I had mine stabilized, and then I got chatting, and it went over. Not bad. It hit 160, and I turned the flame off, and it's just sitting there at 160.
How much time do you left on your seat?
15 minutes and 1 second.
And 1 second.
1 second. So yeah, Bill was talking about starting to GoFundMe for. There was a slight tragedy at work. We'll just leave it there, just because it's. Yeah, let's just leave it there. But anyways, they're talking about a GoFundMe and stuff, and he was making fun of himself. He's like, "Yeah, I was talking about helping to pay for some things, and I said I think I'm going to start an OnlyFans." And he said that, and I died. I was just like, I don't know. I'm going to subscribe. You do that. I said, you need to do this.
I'm not going to watch, but I'm going to subscribe.
Oh, heck yeah, I'm going to subscribe. And I'm going to tell people to watch. It's like, you need to go to Big Bill's OnlyFans. It'll be awesome. What's it about? I have no clue because I can't watch it myself. But I think you should. You go and report back to me.
As long as it does not involve manitalia or anything like that. Yes, I just made that up.
Yeah, well, it's OnlyFans and Bill. Just let your brain go with that. Just go think Bill OnlyFans. Let that sink in there.
Now I need a lobotomy. Thank you.
Yes, mental bleach is where is the mental bleach?
Oh, all right.
kinda. We have other things to do today. The hot break came out today.
Yeah.
Like bam,
Boom.
it's out.
On
So
the
I want to
first.
read that, but I want to get my boil going first.
Yeah.
And then
That way we're not distracted on anything.
yeah, I don't look over and mine's down to 120.
Yeah.
It's like failure was steep.
I'm almost at 120. Let's get there. Come on, man. I don't want to turn the heat up too much. I want to still keep a nice gap between our deals here.
So we need to talk about all grain brewing.
All grain brew. That's what the hot break is about this month, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I just saw that.
I didn't read it. Yeah, I just saw the title in the email.
So we need to read it because I'm going to read it to you.
Right.
You can sit and put your blankie on and settle in your chair with your beer, and I will read you a story. Blankie? Blankie? I don't have a blankie. I used to have a blankie.
When I was a kid, I had a blanket.
I had pink blankie.
Mine was like blue patchwork blanket. It was homemade. We made it for me. Great grandmother made it, I think, something like that.
Oh, I love my pink blankie. But by the time it was my dad wanted to get rid of that thing so bad. I think one day it just went. They just like, it's gone. But there was no blanket left to it.
Oh.
It was just that.
Just a sheen.
You know that kind of satiny border that
Yeah.
they used to put around blankets? It was so cool and soft, and I loved it. It was just like, oh, I love this thing. Love my pink blankie.
Yeah, my kids were blanket kids too. They had to have that, especially Riley. Ooh, she would lose her mind if like we couldn't find the blanket or something like that, or if you left it somewhere, you know.
I'm trying to think.
Like we tried to wash it one time, and she just went nuts. One way we were able to get her to do that is if we let her put it in the washer. You know, when she was like 3 or 4. It's like, hey, it'll be back. And, can we wash your blanket? You know.
I don't think my kids ever formed super attachments to any. They didn't have any security objects or anything.
Mm. And Bailey, she had a blanket too. Yeah, but she was a binky kid, man. She didn't like when we took her binky away. She liked that binky.
Give me my binky! It fell in the garbage. I'm just gonna wash it. No!
It fell in the cat box. You know.
Just let me clean it. Oh, come on. Jeez, what's going on?
Yeah, I forget when she finally gave up on the binkies. It took a while. She was like older, like 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume she finally got rid of the binkies.
Oh, it took forever to get Timo to stop sucking his thumb. I mean, he wasn't 28 like that one girl was 80. Oh, that girl. I'm sorry. There's just at a certain point in your life, you gotta grow up. No, this is not acceptable behavior.
You're in the military, you know.
It's like, that's an interesting concept because on the one hand, you do you is like, yeah, you do you, who cares? But on the other hand, it's like, no, you know what? Don't do that.
Yeah, you do you applies to like your personal life,
Like when the door is closed in
Right.
personal life.
It should not apply in workplaces or especially the military where you're supposed to be a cohesive unit,
Particularly the military, but even in fire departments,
Oh yeah.
Paramedic units, hospitals.
Yeah, I'm all about you do you, but
Police.
there's a time and place for you do you. And work is not where you do you.
Yeah.
That's just a philosophy I prescribe to you. It's just like,
I think maybe
you're at work.
you could even broaden
There's
it
no
out.
responsibility there.
You could even broaden it out into society.
Yeah.
Type deal. It's like, no, you don't do you. It's like we have societal expectations. Our societal expectations.
Slope, though, man.
Well, yeah, it sounds
Really
evil,
is,
but
yeah.
at the same time, look at the other way it goes.
I know.
I mean,
40 years ago, it was people in society cared more about society to where they kind of kept a norm, a standard.
Right.
You always had your outliers, go back to like in the 60s, with the hippies and those movements, they were the nonconformist types, the outliers, Not saying it was a very bad thing, but that was what if you were a hippie, then you were definitely labeled, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys were they happily moved away from society and they formed their little communes and they did their things there. I mean, I'm sure there were some, but I don't think the hippies like were moving in and trying to get the squares to celebrate their lifestyle.
No, I don't think so either.
You know,
I have a hard time defining societal norm personally in myself. Like, what is the societal norm right now?
Right, and
it's almost like an anything goes world. You know?
Right, and is that good or bad for society? I personally think it's bad.
I don't know. I don't know how to define it. So maybe it's bad. Maybe I don't want to call it bad, but maybe it just has, you know, or could have negative effects down the road. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe it will be better to live anything goes. You know.
You know what I think is really amusing is that so the people who are really championing individual rights right now, right? They're kind of the conservatives, who they would be the people who would be yelling, you know, cut your hair, get a job, type people in the 50s and 60s, right? Conservative people, they're the screw between them. Oh, did you go bass?
No, I got close though.
You're flame.
I know. I'm gonna kill it because I didn't adjust it down, so I'm just gonna kill it. I'm at like perfect spot right now for it.
You just let it sit there for a minute.
And let it sit. Yep. And I'll start my timer. Yeah, I'm on that almost in that 70 Celsius where I like to aim.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the flow. No, not that. Nope.
So in any case, you know, back then, and then the people who are more liberal, they're the hippies, you know, type deal. And these would be more liberal people with more liberal policies. And now, but it's like those are the people who are like, I just want to be me. I want to do my thing. Individuality, right?
Right.
Well, now we move to here, and now the liberal side of things, they are very much collectivist. You know, I mean, that is a big thing. It's like your conservatives, or at least your right wingers, that they really stand on that individuality, individual rights. It's all about the individual.
Actually, I'll skip it up for now.
But yet, it's all about the individual, but the individual should conform to this society.
Well, the individuals need to be the same and conform.
Right. But meanwhile, you have, you know, these people on the left side of things, I keep using my right hand, but on the left side of things, who they talk about these collective things. We need to get rid of this constitutional right or that constitutional right in the interest of societal good, right? Sacrifice the individual rights for societal safety, which, by the way, you can't be safe and free. Now you know where I lie. But they, you know, they do that. But they're the people that are all saying, I should be allowed to do whatever I want, and you should celebrate my lifestyle, which is the part that irritates me. It's not so much people living like they live. It's like, okay, you want to think that you're this, you want to do this, and you want to do it in public, okay. I really can't say much about that because really you know, if you wear shoes on your feet, shoes on your hands, gloves on your feet, and underwear on your head and walk down the street, it really doesn't do anything to me. Provides me with a laugh.
Doesn't take any money out of my pocket.
Yep, a photo op. That's interesting. Click, click.
And like, oh, look at this person. Click.
Right? But don't expect me to tell you you're a brave, wonderful person because you're doing that. So it's just really interesting. Right. You know, so people who have like this collectivist view, but yet they want to be able to act like complete individuals that do. And sometimes they want policies enacted to protect their individuality. It's like, we don't do policy for anecdotes. It has to be a large group of people that are being impacted by this, that, or the other in order for us to change policy. Like black people in the 60s. It's like, all right, we have a large chunk of the United States that is being impacted by, in this case, a cultural norm that was not great, right? So now we impact the policy because we have a large group of people, and really large. You know, I mean, there's still not a huge percentage. I don't know exactly what the percentage is.
40%.
Oh, that's really big actually. I mean, that's close to half.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was that high in the 50s and 60s.
No, I wasn't. I can't remember where I saw that, but it was an official source. Where I want to say it was like, you know, the black population in America was like 40%, in contrast to the white population, you know.
Right, but still, It's much higher than 1%.
Right.
We don't make policy for 1%.
No.
1% is, I'm sorry, you suffer because, particularly if 90% is against whatever it is, It's like, I'm sorry, yes, I understand that the idea behind the representative republic is to protect the minority views. I mean, that really is the whole concept of the Senate versus the House of Representatives, and that one of the reasons for those branches is so that the minority is protected, because in the House of Representatives, it is 100% majority rules.
Real quick, how much time you got left on your seat?
2 minutes and 56 seconds.
Okay.
So in the House, and of course we're talking American political system. We're not even talking politics here. We're just talking the way that our governing system is set up and the reasons for it. So the Senate, the reason for the Senate being 2 from every state, regardless of population, was it protected the less populous states.
Sure.
And so that's important because, as we know, pure democracy is 2 wolves in a sheep deciding who's for lunch. And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of a no-brainer. That's pure democracy. But when you introduce the Senate, where the state of Montana, who only has, I think we're over 1 million now.
Oh.
Yes, I still call Montana my home. Yes, I know. Still say we Montanans, where I haven't paid taxes or voted in too many years.
Right.
Point being that Montana has, I think they have 2 representatives now. They used to have 1, but so they have 2 representatives. Compared to California's how many representatives?
Right.
Or New York's, right? So the House of Representatives is democracy, majority rules, right? The Senate, however, New York has 2 senators, Montana has 2 senators.
Right.
So those states have 2 senators, right? And one of the problems that America has right now is that we pushed everything to the federal level. Because a lot of people complain about how these minority states or underpopulated states have way too much sway in elections because Montana's 3 electoral votes.
Right.
It's like that means the average person in Montana has the voting power of 5,000 Californians, right? Because of the way it is. It's like, yeah, but that's because you push everything to the federal level. We should be pushing things down
I
to the
agree.
local level. So the federal elections are like, yep, I voted. What do you think? I don't know who won. This guy. Okay, that's nice, right? That's how unimportant the federal government should be to us. What we should be focusing on is our state governments and our county governments and even our city governments.
Sure.
Push it down, push it down, push it down. Because I can go to the mayor's house and say, yo, what the heck, dude? Are you stupid? Yes, you're a special kind of stupid. I can't do that to the president. For one, I get shot.
You probably get tackled or shot.
I just couldn't get that close to him. But
right.
you know my point.
And sure, you could write your congressman or write your senator, but do they actually read your letters?
No, the only way they're going to read your letters is if 500,000 people write them.
Right.
And even then, they're not going to read every letter.
No, they're going to have their aide read them.
Right. But eventually the aide's going to come up there and say, yo.
Hey, you might want to look at this.
Yeah, hey, Rick, you're getting 5,000. Rick Larson is one of the Washington representatives, I think.
Right.
I know his name. I think
I know he ran when we voted.
Yeah, and he won. He's Democrat.
So.
Point being that, eventually an aide or somebody's going to come up and say, hey, you have 5,000 letters all kind of around the same topic saying you need to go this way.
Right.
But no, he's not going to listen to you. But the mayor might listen to you. I know.
What happens is that gap gets closer and closer.
You got a good point. Here, turn my flame back on. So anyways, there are very good logical reasons for us to push all the political decisions and the things that actually make a difference in our lives as close to the local level as possible.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. I think the federal government just needs to worry about national defense, commerce, maybe, interstate commerce. Let the states handle their interstate commerce, but interstate commerce, take care of the interstate roads, and that's about it. let the states handle their own welfare programs, whatever.
And it needs to be heavily restricted because.
Oh, and judiciary stuff at the federal level, where things have to go to that level.
Right, but the thing is that's one of the difficulties we have right now is that everything is so high up that everything is a federal level.
Right.
And part of it is because everything happens all at once. All right, I need the hammer. I'll be right back. Leave alone!
Well, we don't even have an audience this time other than Chase. I'm not sure he's even still with us. Oh, that is getting a little on the high side.
I know we don't have an audience. You can talk about something.
Oh no, I know. I was just saying it as point. I was talking about my temperature.
Worm flatulence. Go.
It's on the high end of my temperature scale, but I'm holding it steady, so I'm good.
They talk about cow farts. That's not the problem. The problem is worm farts.
Worm farts.
Those worms. Of course, I'm breaking a rule here. I've got my flame going, and I'm about to add this.
Oh, why kill your flame?
No, that's okay. We'll just stir it
real well, yeah. Stir, give it a good chunk. And we have a ladle.
Because you actually had a really good point there. If you delay, then the gap that you put in there just disappears as we delay.
I think that's what happened at one time. We just got busy talking and kind of didn't really focus on the beer, and it's like, oh, I caught up to you,
Yep, so just keep that flame there. Stir vigorously. Sure it doesn't stick on the bottom.
Right. I've had that happen. I scorched the bottom of my pot because I didn't stir the.
Although, as I remember, it really wasn't a huge impact on your beer.
No, I just took some elbow root to get it off.
Give me a second. I really do want to keep it spinning for a moment here. I'm going to put it there. I'll just hand it to you.
No, I'll just hang on to it.
Alright.
Sticky driplets, but whatever.
Sticky driplets.
Sticky driplets.
It's okay. You need to mop that spot again anyways.
Yes, I do. Indeed.
So yeah, push it down to the local level. Because, I think it would do an amazing amount of things. Number one, people would feel more empowered, right? They would feel like their desires and wants and wishes and needs were being more adequately addressed.
Sure.
Because they were actually able to talk with the people who made the policies that impacted their lives. When you put everything at the federal level, nobody thinks that Biden listens to them individually.
Right. Or their senator, or their congressman.
There's a whole group of people that think that their votes didn't even count.
Right.
There's a huge chunk of our population that their votes didn't count. Why? Because they didn't vote. And why didn't they vote? Because they think there's no point.
Yep, I know a lot of people like that. Like, I'm not going to vote. Why?
Why would I waste my time?
It's not going to matter.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the people I work with feel that way.
And on the one hand, it's like, I guess they're kind of true because really, federal policy rarely has a very direct, aggressive impact on us. But it does have some impact.
Right.
But on the other hand, if you didn't participate in the process, man, then you get whatever's handed to you.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you should have voted then, you know.
Right.
Would have that made a difference? I don't know.
But I just really think that, I mean, seriously, if most of the power existed at the local level,
Right.
I think people would be more.
Right, because they're going to see, potentially see the changes that they're asking for much sooner, you know.
So like one of the guys here, one of your city council members, because I don't live in the city, so actually I can't vote here.
No.
But I'm glad this guy got voted in. But I left a message on his Facebook page,
Right.
and it was about the power bill thing. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. I was at 4 different websites just to pay my mother's power bill.
Yeah.
What the heck? I mean, this is
ridiculous.
And he said, you know, for me, it seems to be just click, click, click. But you are not the only person who has said this.
Yeah, obviously this guy's seeing their complaints, you know.
Right, and he responded to me.
Right.
You think Joe Biden would respond
hell
if I
no,
left him a Facebook message? No. And that's not actually Joe Biden's fault.
No.
It's because there's 350 million people in this country.
Right. So he does not have the time to go look at his Facebook messages.
To be quite honest, if my president
answer
has
this
the
guy.
time to do that, it's like, I think
No, but
you need to work harder.
There's something else that needs to be happening.
Or we need to cut your salary in half.
Yeah, right.
Like seriously, I mean that's a real thing. It's like
No.
if you got the time to do that as
Mom,
a
just
president.
smell my shit covered hand and it's not like
Right. We're broadcasting.
Hey,
Camera can't see you, but the microphone can hear you. Going for the boil. So it just makes good.
Ladies and gentlemen, my daughter.
Most professional broadcast this side of Columbia River.
Oh, you're gonna need some hops here pretty soon.
I am pretty quick.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, it was funny, but you need
was
both. No, you just need the 1 pack for now, huh?
Yeah, I do. I only have 2 ounces total. 1 ounce of Willamette and 1 ounce of Goldings.
Okay. I better pay attention then. Here's your Willamette.
Oh, you have British hops too?
I do. Oh, I have Fuggles and East Kent Goldings. I have some EKG Goldings.
EKG Goldings.
EKG Goldings.
Just a little bit redundant.
So when I told her, I was like, right, if we're brewing, we're broadcasting. Just keep that in mind next time you want to say something, you know?
It's all good. You know, if we were making millions of dollars.
We're now PG though.
Oh, that's great.
She dropped an F-bomb, you know?
Yeah, well.
So, no, I know, it'd be different if this was like a money-making thing, you know, where the expectation was, really, you know? Or somebody would probably unsubscribe or something like that, you know?
Yeah, or just like.
But I think our subscribers, they know that this is
No,
more
it's
of
much.
a pastime for us rather than trying to make money off of it,
Well, the problem is that in order to try and make money, we'd have to get rid of your kids. We'd have to get rid of my kids. We'd have to get rid of our wives. Get rid of a lot of stuff that we have to take care of.
Right.
So that you could dedicate yourself to
this.
to brewing and to broadcasting at the same time. So that your broadcast quality was super high quality. Your brews went really well. That you had the time so that you could do an all grain brew and just keep the broadcast going and everything. Because that takes time.
Multiple cameras and different angles and views. And
spending the week finding topics to talk about during Steve alone and Jamey alone, and you're just staring at the camera. So, yeah, man, about that. So excited. Kind of like public radio music DJs.
Yeah.
You ever notice them? That's how they talk. They do. They're like, the song plays, and then there's 10 seconds of silence. You're like, did the radio station go away?
And that was blah, 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 by blah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I was listening to bluegrass, which I don't get to do very often in my car because my kids are with me and my kid hates bluegrass, and I'm thinking about disowning him for that, but I can't do that because you can't disown your kids because they don't like the best form of music in the world. So in any case, I was listening to it, and that was exactly what the DJ came on, and she's like, and that was these people doing this, and these people doing this, and these people doing this, and me and Harvey, we just we used to do this, and I used to play this one all grain sign for graduation. I thought it was appropriate, and he didn't, and we parted ways friendly though, and so I'm like, that is the most stilted, unentertaining. No wonder you are on public radio. Public radio where there are no expectations, but please give us money during the fall fund drive. Oh my goodness.
I used to listen to a lot of public radio.
Sometimes there's good stuff on there.
Well, I like to listen to it at home because the public radio there had a German segment. Because the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, would get stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, like we would get stationed over there. They actually have they have.
It was like a student exchange program.
Sure.
Exchange student.
Exchange soldier program. So yeah, they would have a couple of units there, the aircraft, and they would operate out of Fort Bliss. Now I think they go to Holloman Air Force Base, which seems a little more appropriate. Air Force. Holloman Air Force Base?
Oh, Holloman?
Holloman.
Hollow man?
It looks like Hollow Man. Yeah.
Like a man with nothing inside him?
Hollow Man.
Just hollow?
Yeah, it's in New Mexico. But anyway, the NPR station there at the university would have this German segment. I used to listen to it.
Oh.
Just when I was taking German in high school to try to help solidify the words,
Well, not all of them, not every public radio DJ is. And I'm talking about the DJs. I'm not talking about the NPR news segment.
No, I know what you're talking about. Just the people there, it's their segment of the radio programming, and they just all have that same style of speaking. And
yes, the same.
Long pauses.
Big long pauses, stilted. I've run out of things to say, but I can't start the next song yet because this has to land on the half-hour mark. And if I start before 13 minutes after, then we're going to have 10 seconds of silence before the half-hour mark. And it's like, lady, you had 45 seconds of silence just listening to you talk, so who cares? Play the music, please, for the love of all that's holy. I mean, God bless them. Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts.
Which, if you're Southern, is actually does not mean bless anything.
It's quite derogative.
Yeah, Nate would know about that.
Yeah,
He's from Florida.
Yeah, he didn't join us today. I guess he's busy.
Yeah, we must have offended him. He hates us now. Go drink ourselves into oblivion, quit our jobs, become overweight, get sad face tattoos, not pay our bills, get on the welfare.
It's okay. You can make noise. It's okay. You need something? Okay.
The children are weird.
No, I was giving Riley trouble because she dropped an S-bomb. We tried not to cuss during the broadcast, kiddo.
Well, you still do because it never shows up on my free page.
On your free.
What?
Why?
Sorry.
Why? Why do you do? Get out! Get out!
Don't lock.
Don't lock the door.
I wasn't gonna.
Yeah. Okay, she didn't lock it.
No, she gets in trouble all the time for not turning off lights.
Yeah. No, I
so
get
now,
it.
so now she's like, let off, Well, because she'll go to the bathroom, walk out and leave the light on. It's like,
Yeah, my
hey,
kids are the same.
hey, turn the light off.
My kids are the worst in the basement. And I'm always going back. It's like, turn the basement light off. Constantly.
Walk by again 5 minutes later, it's back on.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, guys. I mean, I got LEDs down there, so it's not.
No, but it's still, it costs money,
Yeah, especially so a lot of times, because I don't know, whoever wired my house, and I should fix this. They wired, you know this, they wired the outside light to the basement light. So in order to turn the outside light on, you got to turn the basement lights on. And if the switch is flipped for the outside light, and you turn the basement lights on, it turns on. And guess what's not LEDs?
Outside light.
Yes. So, yes, noon, and we are illuminating nothing because you can't see the outside light at noon. You don't need it. Why? Because my children.
Yeah, my house is wired strange in some cases as well. Like in the man cave, you know how your typical plug outlet has two sockets, the upper and lower one, right? Like the upper socket is wired to a switch, the lower one is always hot. Yeah, kind of weird. So you can do like a lamp or something,
Right, that's exactly what that's for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does. My brain says either wire the whole socket to a switch or just leave it hot.
Right. That's what I was like, I'll wire that socket to the switch, but I'm not going to wire them all like that.
The thing about your man cave though is that almost makes sense because you've got no overhead
lights. Exactly. That's why I have.
You need that.
I told you I want to do recessed lighting in there. So
I'm very reluctant to ever say you need to do this with your house because I had a friend that used to do that with my house. You need to do this. It's like I need to do whatever the hell I want. This is my house. You like that feature? Put it on your house, buddy. However, I'll go out on a limb with this one. You need to get some sort of overhead lighting there.
I told you I want to do the recessed lighting with a dimmer. Like a dimmer switch.
I think that's a brilliant idea, and it shouldn't be. You said the attic is over it?
You can, if you go up in that attic spot there, that way. That's where the roof is, or the ceiling.
Oh man, yeah. All you've got to do is
Just wire it up,
Just cut little holes, little circles, and bezels.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah, in fact, I saw at Home Depot there was some lighting that kind of caught my interest. I'm like, because one time I was thinking either recessed lighting or some kind of like track lighting or something. Kind of hoity-toity, track lighting. Ooh. But I think it's very 80s. I think the recessed lighting would be pretty cool with the dimmer switch. So.
It would be. It's just, it does seem like the man cave is really dark.
It is.
But my whole freaking house is dark. I hate that. I need to change something. You turn every light in the house on, and I'm still like, why does it feel like a minute?
I've also thought about pulling that sliding glass door out and just either fill it in with a window. Build up the wall and then just put a regular window in it.
Yep.
Not have a door there. I don't know.
These are the deep subjects that you get to enjoy here on Northwest Brewmeisters. But you know what? That's what happens when nobody shows up to watch. So suck it.
Or put a door at the window, kind of thing.
Yeah,
a regular
sure.
door.
A regular door, more secure.
Yeah.
Harder to get through.
Exactly. I might do that. I always have options, so.
Yeah, you always have options.
But that's lowest on the priority list, stuff like that. What's high right now is gutters and siding, which I need to text James and touch base with him and see if he's
my next thing is
taking on any
actually
more projects.
my next thing is actually windows. I'm going to do windows next because I just need I need to improve the efficiency of my house.
Yeah.
Why are you not boiling? Come on.
That's what I'm trying to do with my house is not so much efficiency, but just get the weatherproofing done.
Which is efficiency.
Keep the moisture out, and then I'll go back to the interior upgrades I was doing. We got the bathroom done, well, mostly done. We finish the bathroom and then finish up the other bathroom, the kitchen, finish the thing behind the fireplace back there, the wood stove, you know.
Right.
Get all that stuff done.
I just want to do nice vinyl windows like what you got here. I was even thinking about doing triple panes all the way around. I don't know if there's a huge advantage. Is there a huge advantage to triple pane windows? Leave it in the comments.
I don't know. Probably expensive though. I think
Oh, yeah.
double pane.
Double pane is what most people have.
Right.
I would like, they make vinyl windows that you can paint, and I would like that. Just because, maybe I want to paint my house.
Right.
You know? I really need to paint my house. I need to re-side my house. Stupid asbestos siding.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing the paintable vinyl siding.
Mm-hmm.
So
Careful with the barbecue grills.
barbecue grills.
Yeah, they'll melt your siding if you use the vinyl.
Oh.
If you run a barbecue grill and you put it too close to the house.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys who works at that.
Activity.
Oh, yes! Yes! There we go.
I would turn that down a little bit.
Oh, man, let's go for it!
So
To the wall!
you don't have a boil over.
Yeah, we're turning it down. Gotta get this under control.
Because when those hops go in, it's gonna be like, bruh!
Wow.
All
Are
right,
you off the ceiling too?
I have 30 seconds left, so I'm gonna grab my malts.
All right, sounds good. Hey, once I get my boil established, I'm gonna go ahead and read the hot break, actually.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, who do we got here? Welcome, Nathan. Triple pane or not worth it. Just do the double with argon. See, I heard that. I kind of thought that. I don't know. I think it's probably some salesman trying to sell me on it, but I did hear somewhere that the triple pane, really the advantage that you get from it is not that big a deal. You know, it's always funny that something interesting happens when Steve leaves. So, Happy New Year to you, Nathan. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Make us feel loved. So, Nathan's here and your timer's going off.
Hey, Nathan. Oh, not.
Oh, yeah.
I just hit repeat.
Yep.
No, I didn't mean to repeat.
That got exciting really fast. I don't have control. All right. Oh, I just turned my flame off. Of course I did.
So I'm making Resurrection now, which I've done quite a few times, and Jamey is making his Smokey Porter?
Smoky Porter.
Smokey Porter, yeah.
Aim flame.
Oh.
Right there.
Aim flame.
Two. Just woke up. Been day drinking. God bless you, sir.
Well, Happy New Year, Nathan. Yeah, we just started drinking too about an hour ago.
I think it's funny. Been day drinking. Nice. Let's get this under control. I'm just gonna go ahead and start my timer.
Well, I don't know about you, but I did quite a few beers last night. Had a good time. And, you know, the Confucius say to cure hangover, stay drunk.
Is that curing a hangover or just never getting
Never
one?
getting one because you don't let it happen. All right, time to get sticky.
All right. And now we're going to go to PotCam. And guess what? I actually remembered to put it on OBS virtual camera, so we will have a PotCam instead of looking at my butt while I change the camera around. We do have to switch over to the OBS view, otherwise it's just going to type numbers.
All right. Come here. All right. Man, I'm thinking I should have put these in water, some warm water.
What's that? Oh,
The malts. Not a whole lot coming up very easily. Still kind of thick here.
all right. So, I've got a good boil going on. Actually, I'm very happy with that boil.
Nice.
We're just going to let that go.
Alright. No scorched pot. No scorched pot.
Yeah, I actually didn't hit it too hard last night because, well, you know, I had to wake up at 7.
Yeah. I don't know how many beers I drink. Probably only like 6 or 7, maybe 8. But they're
Were they stout?
oh yeah, there were the hoppy pack beers, the high octane ones.
Yeah, like the big Ballard.
Yeah, like the 8.2 percenters, 8.7 percenters. So I was feeling pretty good by the time I got home. And I think I had one more beer when I got home, and then I went to bed. I didn't want to be all hungover today trying to do this, you know.
No, man. Yeah, that's the problem with being hungover. It's just like, it just kills a day. You know, it's nothing big. It's like, yeah, I can get through this, you know.
Right.
It's not the worst pain I've ever felt, but it's just like, I don't feel like doing anything. And if you drink too much, I mean, you just waste the last 3 or 4 because you're not tasting them.
No.
Like that one night where we were just staring at each other. We weren't even being funny or anything.
No, we were just like
Just
done.
staring. It's just like, we agreed. It's like, never again. We're never doing that again. Because it was just dumb. We wasted a 6-pack, I swear. I mean, why did we drink it? We didn't taste it.
No.
Not when you're that drunk. You're not tasting it. We weren't being funny. We weren't discussing anything interesting. We weren't improving
That
ourselves.
was like a sign of bedtime right there. Like,
Yeah.
go to bed.
It's just like, geez, just knock it off. That was dumb. My wife. That was not our finer moment.
Oh, I know. My wife picked me up, and then I think I went right to bed when I got home.
Well, you're probably half asleep the whole way home.
Right? Oh, damn it.
But
What you doing? Oh, grab a beer. Okay.
yeah, I'm done with mine. So this time we're gonna drink an orange one.
An orange one. Okay.
Well, you know, we drank the blue one and then a green one. Now an orange one.
That sounds good.
Orange is a good color. Oh,
Oh, this is gonna be a sticky one.
so here's what we're gonna drink right now.
Yeah, we still don't have any homebrew about ready yet to drink.
Yeah, we ran out of our own beer.
Right. But I'm gonna keg a beer and rack a beer today after the broadcast. So by next weekend I'll have homebrew ready to drink.
And I kegged the beer and racked the beer yesterday. I did exactly what you're doing tonight. But I did it yesterday.
Right.
So yeah, by next weekend, that should
We'll
be
have beer again. Woo!
good.
But I agree with you, man. We should start going by Greg's at least once or twice a month and buying, just some rando beers and
Yeah, I mean just one or
trying
two.
beer like we used to do back in the day.
Black Raven Brewery or see what port. I mean, kind of drank what Port Townsend has to offer, but
Right.
see some various breweries, ask them about them. Just kind of judge them. It's like, this is a good brew.
This is not a brew.
Yeah, this is nothing spectacular. This is
You've been relegated to not beer status.
yes,
Like that Goza.
yeah.
That's disgusting.
Not my idea of good beer.
No. It wasn't good.
But again, to each his own, right?
Right.
Some people like it. It's okay to be wrong. So many ways to be arrogant in the world, Steve. So many ways.
So many. All right, last can.
All right, got any garbage?
Yeah. This guy right here.
Want to throw your?
So yeah, we can put the.
Oh no, sticky fingers.
Oh no. Could be worse. Ugh. Apparently, my daughter stuck her hand in horse poop.
That's part of being a horse person. It's gonna happen,
Right. I asked her, well, how did that happen? She said she was massaging Smokey's butt. And I was like,
And
what?
Did it poop? Did she poop on her?
I guess he pooped while she was doing that.
What
Or
part
maybe-
of his butt was she massaging?
Or maybe he just had some, leftovers on there. I don't know, man.
Horses they're not like cows. Cows have leftovers all over themselves. They're a nasty animal. Horses don't do that.
I don't know. Maybe he pooped while she was working.
I'm going to interrogate your daughter. This is a very odd thing.
I know. It's like, what? Why were you even massaging his butt?
At least the part of the butt where you could get poop on you.
I know, right? It's like, come on, kid.
I mean, it's a horse's butt. There's a lot of horse's butt. There's a lot of territory. There's a lot of parts you could massage. Why did you massage that part? Conversation got weird.
It did.
But you're right. Could be worse.
All right. Looks like Nate said a few things, but I can't read it where I'm at, man. So.
But the last thing he said was that he'd been day drinking.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought maybe he'd said something else since then.
He said there's a brand called Elysian. We know
Oh,
Elysian.
yeah, we're familiar with that one.
That during Halloween they have a variety pack that is really tasty. The coffee pumpkin ale is especially good. So this thing about pumpkin anything. I will do pumpkin stuff in February because it's not trendy.
Shaky. Right?
We can't do pumpkin in the fall. It's too trendy. Can't do it.
Especially being in the Northwest with all the coffees and crap up here, man.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I'm gonna adjust your boil a little bit. You're really aggressive.
Okay.
Aggressive. There we go. Looks a little better.
As long as we're not coming out of the pot.
No. It's just definitely not a roller. It's a roiling boiler.
Boiler.
Yeah, you have a roiler, not a roller.
Yeah, Elysian they make some good stuff. They make space dust, which is
That's what Josh was drinking last night. I think that's like his main beer, his favorite beer.
space dust is good. You know, I made that
The fire maker.
fire maker. Oh,
Couldn't. It was just hidden just well enough I couldn't see it.
Space dust. Woo. Come on.
There it is. We have fire.
Space dust is good. I made that space dust clone. I'll never make it again because it had like 6 different hops in it, which is okay. But the dry hopping, there was a good half gallon of sludge in the bottom of my carboy when I was done.
Yeah, I mean, I like space dust to a degree, but it has a weird finish to it, in my opinion.
Does it? I haven't had one in a long time, so.
It reminds me kind of like the Immortal IPA from Elysian, which I'm not a big fan of the Immortal IPA either.
No.
Immortal IPA. IPA.
IPA?
IPA.
IPA?
IPA.
IPA in the potty.
I do like some of the other Elysian flavors, though. You know. I like the Men's Room Red from Elysian.
They're a good company. I'm not quite as picky as you.
Yeah.
I think I'm just overall just not as. Let's use a different word. Let's use a word that makes you sound intelligent. I'm not as discerning as you.
That's funny. All right. You mind throwing these in the recycler when you
1, 2.
All right.
3.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Oh, cramp! Ow!
Your
Ah,
boil still
I'm old.
kind of strong. Adjust my fire a little bit. All right.
So,
Here, you want me to toss those other ones to you?
I got them.
Okay.
I'll just get them.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just grab them.
You know what? I'm not that sticky this time, amazingly enough.
Nice.
Usually this, malt extract like that liquid malt extract, it's like pouring molasses, man. Sometimes it gets you all sticky.
Although, maybe we should do that
What's that?
next year. We'll try the coffee pumpkin.
Oh, you know what? I'm sure Greg can get it. We could probably
yeah,
get
get
it from him.
1 or 2 bottles.
Yeah. We give it a shot. Might be good.
Yeah.
Is Nathan saying he likes it, or?
Well, yeah, he said the coffee pumpkin ale is especially good.
Oh, okay.
Variety pack.
Yeah, we'll check it out, man.
To be honest, with Elysian, we could probably buy the whole variety pack and be okay.
Yeah, because I think they're actually in Seattle, aren't they?
Think so?
Yeah. So
Not sure. We could look it up.
We can look it up.
We have all the power of the internet at our fingertips, and we just guess, because that's the way we do it.
Well, I know Greg goes to Everett for like his distribution stuff, so I think he tries to save money on cost by getting his own beer for the store.
Yeah, he does.
Instead of paying a distributor to ship it. That's how I picked up that one beer I special order from Left Hand Brewery.
Tell the story of that beer.
So I can't think of the name now, but my wife and I were watching some television show on Netflix or whatever, and they were drinking a beer, and for a brief moment they showed like the bottle or the can with the artwork, and I'm like, is that a real beer? So I Googled it, and yep, it turned out to be a real beer from a Left Hand Brewery out of Oregon, somewhere in Oregon. I think they're out of Bend or something like that. And I asked Greg about it. He's like, oh, I don't carry it, but I can get it for you. Just, it's going to take probably, a week or two for it to come in, depending, how the distributor can get it. So he finally got it. The first time he grabbed the wrong kind of beer on accident, right? Brewery with the wrong beer. And then they got it the second time around. It came in a can, and one of those nitro cans. It was the first time I'd ever done a nitro can, which I was not impressed with. Honestly, I didn't care for it.
I have tried several nitro beers. Well, let's go back to normal cam.
Yeah, now that we're kind of yakking about stuff again.
Yep. Back to normal cam. We'll just go ahead and move this off to the side.
Now it's going to drive me crazy trying to remember the name of that beer, but it was a high ABV beer. It was like 10.2% or something like that.
I remember, and it was like you saw it on the show, and then you're like, oh, hey!
Is that real? Let's try it. Let's see if we can find it. Now, yeah, I just thought it was really cool that I found that beer, and I was not that impressed with it.
All right. So, total, like, not even a segue, just a gear grinding from fifth gear into reverse grinding. Let's do the hot break because my boil's going, so I don't need to concentrate on anything for another half an hour.
Let me know. You want your hops now, just to have them ready?
Sure. Doesn't matter. It's cold in here, so it's as cold in here as it is in your refrigerator. So this sounds cool. So I'm reading the hot break from Northwest Brew Supply, our brew supply guys, whom we love, Trent and Bever.
Yours? These are mine. All right.
And this is one of the few newsletters that I subscribe to that I actually really like.
Yeah. They do a good job with it.
Which, Ben, Trevor, if you've made it to this point in the broadcast, that's impressive. I'm assigned to a few because I was like, yeah, I should read your newsletter. And every time it's like, boring. Thank you for writing about something that is completely dumb. But maybe it's because it's beer. I mean, how can you go wrong with beer?
It's always informative. And then, you'll sometimes there'll be like an ad in there, but it's like, ooh, I need that,
Yeah, well, they have cool, and of course, a beer letter. That's part of the reason of a beer,
right.
And it's,
each month has something new to say. Each month has a new topic, Like
so
this one's about This one's about all grain brewing.
Right, resolve to go all grain. They also have a new beer for a new year, the Train Wreck Coffee Lager. So before we even begin, man, that sounds good because I don't know about you, I find lagers kind of boring. I mean, they all kind of taste the same.
Right.
I know they don't, but at the same time, I mean, I do like Bocks. Bocks are cool. They seem to have character and stuff. But a lot of like your bright lagers or your high attenuation lagers type stuff, they all seem kind of like, yep, here's another yellow fizzy beer. You know, it's a little bit better than Coors Light. I want it to be because it costs 3 times as much.
The 6-pack cost me $18.
I could buy a 30-pack for that.
Yeah. I remember when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, buying 24 packs of Natural Light for $9.99 on base.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're a young E4 in the 90s in the Navy, you don't make a lot of money.
True, and that was before you knew about good beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All right.
I didn't know about good beer back then.
Let's get into this. Hi, Jamie. I love the way that
So
they
personalized.
recognize me. It's so good. I bet yours says, hi, Steve. These guys take the time.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it shows the placeholder text, like it didn't fill my name in.
Do you have like a protector thing going on or something? Like some software or something that
No,
really?
because their mailer system probably extracts all their names from their customer database and just fills in the blank for who's ever email account it is.
You're totally ruining my illusion here.
No.
I
Sorry,
Oh,
hot break.
what's with the vomitus? We have vomitus.
I got a hot break going on right here.
Why are we vomiting?
You must not have liked one of the beers we were talking about.
It's here. Here, take this. Because I'm going to read the hot break, so you can monitor. All right, so we've got
That or he puked because he's been drinking all day.
yeah, the day drinking will get you. All right, new beer for the new year: the Trainwreck Coffee Lager, and then Resolve to Go All Grain, Volume 4, Issue 1. So we're just going to go ahead and read. This is the hot break from Northwest Brewer Supply. My oh my, how time flies. This Volume 4, Issue number 1 means that we have published a hot break straight into your inbox for 3 years.
Wow, thanks.
We joined late, obviously. We've had some fun, a few laughs, and we hope we have made more than one of you a better brewer, winemaker, mead maker, or cider maker. The goal of the hot break has always been to inspire, inform, and hopefully entertain. Entertain?
Peak Facebook before the Natty Light. Don't blame me there, man.
Yes.
Don't blame me one bit.
No judging. We don't judge on this channel.
I'm sure I probably puke if I drink one today.
I misspelled entertain, but I was on a roll with all buzzwords starting with the letter I, and I couldn't stop myself. All right. In this issue, we want to inspire you to try your first all-grain brew day. We have a great way to get started and an easy way to figure out your water needs. It isn't a full dissertation on every aspect of all-grain brewing science, which is a really good thing because that would take the entire freaking broadcast.
I know, right?
You would brew while I read page after page.
All right, you're going to fly solo for a second.
All right. Jamie alone, and that's why we're reading the hot break. All right. It isn't a full dissertation on every aspect of all-grain brewing science, but it's a great starting position. For many of us, the amount of stuff we can learn about brewing is just as much fun as drinking it. A New Year's resolution to go all grain is way better than a gym membership. All right, Ben, far better. The grammatically proper way to do it is far better. Far better. Okay, thank you. That's enough critiquing of the hot break. All right, we have another seasonal beer kit for you too. This month we joined forces with Nick Crandall at the Trainwreck Bar and Grill to give you the Trainwreck Coffee Lager. You won't want to miss out on that one. Supplies are limited. Okay. We're glad you're still with us, and we are looking forward to many more fantastic brews in your future. We wish you all the best that the new year has to offer. And then there's a cool picture of, ooh, what is that? It's a mesh bag inside a brew kettle. Interesting. Next time I'm down there, I'm going to have to ask him what that picture is. Do you remember the first batch you brewed? Actually, I don't. Do you remember how daunting it all looked? That I remember. So many steps, a strange new vocabulary to learn, and a near paralyzing fear of failure. Not true, because I failed so many times that I am totally good with it. A paralyzing fear of failure haunted you for those early batches. What you may not remember was that at some point on that journey, you forgot that you were so afraid. You had internalized so much information that at a moment's glance at the recipe, and you knew at once when to add all those deliciously aromatic hops. You were learning and having fun. Now that's true. At the beginning, everything was staring at a recipe, and now it's just like, throw it in now, da, da, da. We don't even use our recipes anymore. I mean, we do at the beginning, but a lot of this stuff just keeps going.
I forget how much food there.
Let's see.
Okay.
Where we go. You are learning and having fun. We talk to many brewers of all skill levels every day, and we have noticed that the same feelings you had on your first extract batch seem to creep into your mind all over again when we start talking about all grain brewing. All right, you know what? No lie, man. All grain brewing is daunting. It's just like sparging. I still don't know what sparging is.
It's rinsing your grains.
Rinsing.
Just rinsing the grains, yeah.
So why do we have to use a different word? Why? Leave it in the comments. Why do we need to use a different word? What's wrong with the word rinsing? It's a great word. Starts with an R. It's very close to the letter S. Sparging, rinsing, they're close enough.
Yeah, you have sparging water at like 165 degrees up to the side, ready to sparge, you know?
Yes. Steve knows more about all grain than I do.
I haven't done it yet, but
I've
read a lot about it.
Okay, the good news is there's absolutely nothing to be worried about. There is indeed more to do in an all grain batch.
I'm going to shut that door, man. It's getting cold.
Okay.
Sorry, it's really noisy. Sorry.
There is indeed more to do in an all grain batch. More isn't a bad thing. Most of us see brew day as the best experience, so making your brew day more involved means more fun. And the broadcast will be 8 hours long. Woohoo! All right, but why would you want to go all grain? Now so we kind of get to the nuts and bolts. Besides the more fun aspect that we already mentioned as a brewer, you'll have more control over your beer. And that's a good one, particularly when we use some of the liquid malt extracts that don't really let us know what is in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're fine. They're extracts, you know, so they're malt extracts, but you don't 100% know. So if you wanted to replicate, like some of our beers are going to be really interesting. We're going to have to work on it, you know, because be like, oh, it tasted like this. I used the amber extract. It's like, yeah, we don't know what's in that one.
Right.
It's like, okay, now we're back to the drawing board. All right. So besides the more fun aspect we already mentioned, Kolsch, you have more control. A lot of decisions have been made for you to make extracts. For instance, your beer's mouthfeel is determined partly by grain selection and mash temperature. Both of those decisions are outside your control for the most part when you use extract. All right, your beer will be done sooner. There is a flavor quality that I find in all extract beers that does go away over time. These flavors have a slight twang, for the lack of a better word, and that is what you taste.
Twang.
I don't taste it because I have a caveman's palate. Steve is more discerning, which is just a posh word for picky.
I have a refined palate.
Also a posh phrase for picky. Kind of like riff or ostinato, which is just a posh phrase for riff. That was the greatest thing because that came from a classical composer.
Right.
Yeah, never mind. We'll talk about it.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to go on that one tangent yet.
Okay, so, but Steve tastes that. Trevor mentioned that. He's like, he was really specific. He's like, I think you'll find that in extract brews. Here's the thing, though. Where some of the places we tasted that were in breweries, and I highly doubt that those guys are extract.
I'd be very surprised if they were, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, this is besides the point. Point is, when you're an extract brewer, there's a thing. Flavors have a slight twang, for lack of a better word. A flavor that is borderline metallic tasting, but not the kind that arises from using rusty kettles or aluminum that have oxidized. Is a flavor I've associated with extract beers, and I generally age extract beers far longer than all grain batches. There, well done. Well done, Ben. Earlier he said this is way more important. I was like, far more is the grammatically proper way to say it. And now he has caught on. Well done, Ben. You're an excellent writer. So entertaining. Finally, there is a cost factor involved. Extract beers will cost more than the all-grain version. Extract is heavily processed to make it easy for you. In doing so, production cost is delivered to you. And that's,
he's not wrong, obviously. Because, these cans are about $12, $13, depending what, we use. Yeah, if you're just buying the grain you need, you're not incurring that extra cost, you know.
Yeah,
if you
so
look,
that-
if you
that
look at
makes-
their kits, like their kits they have, the pre-made kits they provide,
Mhm.
their extract, or excuse me, their all grain kits are a few dollars cheaper, you know.
Yep.
Quite
It says in doing so, production costs are delivered to you, which is fair. You know, the people who made the extracts, they did work,
Right.
and we pay for that.
Sure.
On average, you can expect a $10 difference in cost versus all grain. If you brew 8 times a year, okay, come on, who brews 8 times a year? We brew 24 times a year. If you're
Yeah.
brewing less than 24 times a year,
We
you're
are
slack.
we're an exception.
What?
We're an exception of how often we brew, man.
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think people brew like a few times a year, man. You know, but then there's a hardcore of guys like us, you know, that are brewing on the dot every 2 weeks if we can. You know?
Beer is life, dude. It's kind of like in the mystery.
But
Land.
I mean, all jokes aside, I really think we are the exception of how often we brew.
Who hears them
Yeah.
say disco is dead?
So.
Disco is not dead. Disco is life. Did you watch Mystery Men?
No, I did actually.
That was
I
actually
really
good.
didn't see it.
No, it was a fun movie.
Oh, okay.
If you're like a little bit drunk and high and not doing anything better and can find it for free, I recommend it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, no, I might check it out.
So what would you do if you had an extra $80 on brewing? I would drive that much further, like 6 or 7 miles. I drive a Suburban.
Right?
All right, getting started.
You're like, I would drive.
I gotta hold on.
I'd probably use it towards a guitar or something.
We'll come back to this in a minute. Okay, 32 minutes. All right, I got lots of time. I got 22 minutes to finish this hot break.
Oh, I'm seeing some ripple action. Just trying to boil.
All right, getting started on your first all grain. The number one question we get is how to figure out the water. I get it. I being Ben.
Right.
Most all grain recipes only list ingredients, and any of the instructions are pretty short. In our example from the Sacred Cow IPA kit, instructions say, are you ready? Mash 150 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 minutes. Sparge to achieve 6.5 gallons. Boil for 1 hour. 5.5 ending kettle volume. Ferment at 60 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Not much in the way of detail. This is a deliberate choice all recipe publishers have to make. The reason is that every brewer has a different setup. Writing full instructions and not knowing how your system works would be impossible. What we can do is walk you through a process that will result in a great beer. Your mileage may vary on performance, but as time passes, you'll learn your system and how to adapt the recipe. Let's break down a process to estimate our water needs. Ooh, this is a great hot break.
Yeah, that'll go in the archive, man.
Yeah, this is cool. I don't think I've deleted any of them, to be honest.
I had a couple just because it was like about wine and it didn't really pertain, you know. So
That's true. I'm not a wino. All right. Strike water refers to the amount of water in our mash. Best practices use a water to grain ratio of 1 to 1.5 quarts per pound of grain. And you know, so we put in 3 gallons and then add the wort, right? Because we start with 3 gallons. It's a totally different process. But I heard that one of the reasons of that low malt is because of the tannins. And by using less water, you reduce that tannin effect.
oh,
I'd have to read up more on it. I came across an article, but yeah, it's not like 2 gallons of water for a pound of grain. It's like actually relatively low amounts of water. In any case, an easy calculation is grain weight times 0.3 equals volume of strike water in gallons. Using our example recipe, grains 12.5 pounds, mash temp 53 degrees Fahrenheit, pre-boil volume 6.5 gallons. 12.5 pounds times 0.3 is 3.75 gallons of strike water. A note here, if your math results in a number out to the thousandths, feel free to round that up to the nearest gallon to make your life easier. Thank you. There's no problem with 4 gallons of strike water here. Make sure you use the new number in the rest of the calculations for this batch. Now we know the volume, what about the temp? Our recipe gives us a mash temperature, in this case, 153 degrees Fahrenheit. The math for this is really easy. On average, strike water temp is 10 degrees hotter than our target mash. When we add 12.5 pounds of room temp grains to 163 degrees water, the cooler grains plus stirring will bring the mash down to 153 degrees Fahrenheit. Grain absorption. To figure out how much sparge water to use, we need to talk about water absorption. Dry grains will absorb water, kind of like rice and oatmeal and cream of wheat and pretty much all grains. Okay, because they're seeds, and seeds absorb water and then turn into trees. Unless you turn them into delicious beer. All right. The 3.75 gallons of water we started with will be a smaller amount due to absorption, and we will need to account for that in our batch. You can expect to lose 0.13 gallons of water for every pound of grain. To figure it out for your sample batch, we multiply our grain weight times 1.3. 12.5 times 1.3 is 1.625 gallons absorbed. So if we started with 3.75 gallons, lost 1.625, our first running should be 2.125 gallons. The first running is what we call the wort collected before we sparge. The amount of sparge water we need is a simple calculation. We know we need 6.5 gallons at the end. We predicted we'll collect 2.125, which 125 is, what is that? Is it an eighth or a 16th? It's an eighth. So 2 1/8 gallons. Then the math looks like this. 6.5 minus the 2.125 equals 4.375 gallons of sparge water at 168 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Sparge water temperature is 168 to 170 for most of the beers you are likely to make. Put it all together. Grain weight equals X times 0.3. There's your number. Absorption is grain weight X times 1.3, another number. All right. Put those numbers together. Then we have pre-boil volume 6.5, strike water X minus absorption losses equals first runnings. I'm losing track here, but the idea is pretty easy. You know, you just figure out how much you're going to lose, you know, from absorption, and then your first runnings, and you just kind of plug the numbers into the formula, and you know how much sparge water you need. So actually, no, that isn't very hard, especially for someone like me, because I like math. I really do. I love math. Did Nathan say something?
He says sparge is a bit closer to another word you don't want in water. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, this is a family broadcast. Just because a young child messed up and turned us PG doesn't mean we have to screw it all up. All right, we haven't talked about mashing or sparging or what it all means, but we are at 3 pages and go on for another 10. Like he said, it's not a dissertation, and he is not lying. If we did step by step a whole all grain thing,
No, right.
it would take the whole broadcast, and I'd be reading and reading. Be sure to stay tuned. We have more in the works, so you can expect an article on mashing, sparging, recipe building, and more.
That's cool. It gives them a few months of
I'm holding you to that, Ben.
a few months of content. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, Trainwreck Lager. What do we got? Many moons ago, our good friend Nick Crandall, the owner of the Trainwreck Bar and Grill,
Oh yeah.
posted a story on his
Haven't been
page
there
about
forever.
us.
I need to go back and see them again.
I want to go there. We were told to go there. It's like, this is something you do if you come to.
Yeah, Bernie and I went there years ago, you know, and had dinner, and I drank beer. She didn't have anything, but I did. And it was good, but just, you know, because it's, you know, multiple towns away, and we just don't go that often, you know.
Yeah, I know. For those who don't know Nick, he's an amazing small business owner who loves supporting his neighborhood and championing other small businesses. In his restaurants, including Railroad Pub and Pizza, the menu features locally sourced ingredients exclusively. We were deeply moved when he took the time to talk about us here at Northwest Brewer Supply. Trevor, who is the other guy down at Northwest Brewer Supply, had a great idea to pay that forward, and this is the beer that was born.
Oh, nice.
Not only does the Trainwreck feature a great tap list and amazing food, but they also have its own bakery and a coffee roaster. This month's seasonal offerings includes the Trainwreck Dark Roast Coffee as a secondary addition to a great winter lager. For those who don't have temperature control for your fermentation, you need not worry. The kit includes Y Yeast 2112 American Lager. 2112 will ferment up to 68 degrees without imparting unwanted flavors.
That's rush yeast.
Yep. What you can expect is a cold brewed coffee with a kick. This seasonal beer kit is limited, so don't miss out. Available as an all grain kit for $40 or as an extract kit for $46. There you go. Want to see the recipe? You can download it here. If you have never been to the train wreck, be prepared for your tongue to be mad at you for waiting so long. I had the birria torta the other day, and I am still drooling.
Maybe, man. Maybe next year the train wreck might be on the ale trail. That'd be cool.
Well, I think we should just
Go anyway. Just go anyway.
Just hang a left and go there anyway.
Go there.
All right. So, winter warmer. Studies prove that a strong ale makes winter better. We don't need no studies to know this. Hauling wood in the snow is a no-go. Staying warm shouldn't be a chore. Start with a tall, frothy pint with a rich malt profile and classic hop bill of Willamette and East Kent Golding. The warming spices, ginger, orange peel, and cinnamon round out this winter sipper. Well, that's the one that they're selling right now. Where's the train wreck lager? Oh, well, I guess you can just get the kits.
Right.
Get the recipe on our website. So, wait, which one is that? Is this the winter sipper? This is the Spice Winter Warmer. The Spice Winter Warmer is $45 or $60 as an extract.
You're gonna fly solo. I'm gonna get sanitation going.
Okay, I'm still reading. You're not gonna boil over on me, are you?
No, I'm stable.
Okay. Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. You left the monitor way over there. Ben. From the original Star Wars, and Star Wars was still good.
All right. Now I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get the water going.
All right. Yeah, I got you.
Get the things put in there that need to go in there. That stuff.
So for those of you that are maybe watching and you're in the Seattle, Mount Vernon, Burlington area, we got some other things here. Like I said, the winter warmer, which I kind of want to get this winter warmer kit. If it is still available next time we go down there, I think that's what I'm going to get.
You got a water lock?
Yeah, it should be in the... Oh, you know what? It is not there. It's in there. It's one of the... It's the kind that you like. It's not the snaky kind, but it's in there. I know it's in your kitchen somewhere.
That's fine.
I definitely brought it.
I want to do readings. Readings. Oh, that's right. All right. So anyways, the winter sipper, that's kind of their thing. $45. I want to try this one. Looks like ABV is 7.3 and 29 IBUs, so not super hoppy and kind of a belly warmer for you. All studies relating to the article result from long hours of idle contemplation by the author. That doesn't mean it's wrong. So Y Yeast Private Collection is getting a facelift for the new year. Starting now, each quarter's seasonal release will include 2 from the Private Collection and will feature 2 from the Classic Collection, all based on the theme for the season. This is the winter lager season. Any of the selected strains will turn out some amazing lagers, whether you are looking for crispy, crushable light lager or a heavy-hitting malt bomb to sustain you or the winter. Winter lager season has a strain for you. Let's see, we've got 2272 North American, good for American light lagers and adjunct beers. An adjunct beer is just any beer that has a grain other than barley in it. That's, I think, what I wrote. 2352 PC Munich Lager 2, good for European lagers with low diacetyl and low sulfur production. In case you don't know, diacetyl is that really cool stuff that makes artificial popcorn taste buttery. And yeast produces it, and you can taste it in your beer if too much comes out. 2124 Bohemian Lager, good for cold IPAs, Italian Pilsners, and many traditional lager styles. 2565 Kolsch, take a guess. You are right, traditional Kolsch brewing. What other cool things? So we got the Y Yeast stuff. Thank you for your continued support. Scrolling down. Oh, that's the end. That's the end. Here's what people are saying about Northwest Brewer Supply. Have been in here a handful of times now. Did not know a lot when I first came in. Have gotten lots of great info every time I've come in.
Everything I've wanted has always been in stock and at a good price. Staff is excellent, has made suggestions I've been very happy with multiple times. Look forward to it when it's time to move up my brewing game and visit again. Nick Patterson. So anyways, that is the hot break for this month. And so yeah, we need to pay attention and maybe actually start all grain brewing. Actually, to be honest, it is not necessarily that the broadcast will get longer, but the brew days will be, because it takes longer to do all grain. Although from what I hear, it's not really that much longer, but it is just a little bit longer. I gotta check my time. Okay, in 8 minutes, I need to add my next set of hops. So, what should we talk about now? What now, dear viewer? You know what I was talking about? I was thinking about something just the other day. What was it? What was it? It was an interesting thing. It had to do. What did it? Oh, it's lost. I've lost this. It was worth talking about, and it's something that I could have gone on for a while. So frustrating when you forget things, when you get old, and you forget these amazing thoughts that you could pontificate upon for hours and hours. I think really what I need to do is prepare for these broadcasts instead of just hip shooting it. And then I would have something to talk about when Steve leaves, as Steve does every broadcast, because he actually has a good point for doing it. So we use Star Sand, which is significantly more expensive than bleach. You don't use quite as much of it per gallon of water, but bleach is like $4 for a gallon, and this stuff is like $29 for a quart. So I get it. He's using it sparingly, reutilization. You know. Oh, you know what? We were talking about being environmentally friendly brewers. That was something we were talking about earlier. And this whole concept about sitting, we're going to burn through a lot of water today. That happens. That's part of the brewing process. It uses a lot of water. But, as far as we can, so Steve was talking about, reusing waters where we can, instead of just like dumping gallons and gallons of water, it's like, well, why don't we sanitize this and then use that water to sanitize this as well? As long as the sanitizing agent is still kicking, let's do that. And it makes sense, because there's nothing wrong with being a steward of the planet, and that's something that, no one should have a problem with that. I'm not an eco-terrorist by any means, freaking out and we're all going to die tomorrow because it was a warm summer. But at the same time, just doing things that are good for the planet. So one of the crazy ones right now is the electric vehicle, right? So I like electric vehicles myself. I think they're really cool. For one thing, the electric motor, all right? The electric motor has all of its torque and all of its horsepower at 0 RPM. These things have snap, and you don't have to rev them up and find that torque versus horsepower cross point, the peak place where everything's perfect. It is all right there at 0. That is its most powerful point. And then it kind of goes out in a flat line. Well, let's try this. Goes out in a flat line and then drops off rather sharply. And that's where you put a transmission in, so you get your RPMs back down into that power range where the electric motor is doing well. So I think electric motors are a really cool idea. It's just as a power geek, someone who likes to burn tires off cars. I'm sorry, man, but if you got enough of a battery, an electric motor is going to smoke check your big block V8. It's just going to do it. I don't care if you got a diesel, gasoline, 426 Hemi, 427, 390, 360, 340 max wedge. I don't care. A good electric motor is going to blow you off the line because it's got all of its stuff right at 0. You don't have to do any sort of stall converter. You don't have to add any extra weight to your vehicle. But the argument now, of course, is how toxic lithium batteries are to the planet. And there's some merit to that argument because lithium battery mining is not exactly enviro friendly. We're not planting trees and just hugging bunnies here. We're stripping the ground, and we've got super poisonous settling ponds, and any bird that lands in there ain't coming out. So that's a good point. But at the same time, all that poison kind of stays right there. Whereas all of the poison that comes out of the tailpipes of cars, it's not like the smog in LA says, oh, wait, this is the border of Los Angeles. I better not go any further. Now, it doesn't care, man. The wind blows it and away it goes. So the people in Portland, Oregon get to breathe LA's air. That sort of thing. I don't know, but it's this whole concept of stewards of the planet. And of course, I don't think we need to freak out nearly as bad as some of the eco-terrorists do. Greta Thunberg, that's her thing. Or I guess it's Thunberg or Thunberg. You don't even say it's not even it's just a sound. I'm not sure. I do believe in pronouncing people's names correctly if you can, but I don't know how to say her name, so I'm just going to go the best I can. We'll go with Thunberg because I think that's it. Anyway, her mission in life is this environmental thing. But, I think she's kind of a high and right person. There's lots of things that we could get rid of. You just have to accept that people die, right? Get rid of plastics. Great. Everybody who has any sort of medical device that requires plastic, they're going to die. And if you're good with that, there you go. Okay, no problem. Electricity. Let's only depend on wind and solar, although even wind and solar have environmental impacts. Solar farms actually cook birds as they fly over them. The big wind, the windmills, the solar turbines, they kill birds. And a lot of people are like, well, cats kill birds too. And I heard an interesting TED talk on this. And the guy was talking, he's like, yeah, but the birds that the windmills kill, they're not killing sparrows and starlings, birds that we have billions and billions of. He says the birds that are dying via the windmills are the California condor, birds that are endangered, big birds. So it's an interesting thing. He was actually doing this whole thing. He used to be a green energy guy, and then he kind of saw the problems. He's a guy who was talking about that some of those solar farms, the air above them is so hot that the birds catch on fire. They don't just get too warm and sweat. They burn and fall out of the sky. Pretty horrible. Plus, you got to tear up all that land to build these things. Point being, there is no magic bullet. But I lost my overall point. I'm talking about stewardship of the planet. It's like, so let's pretend we just go with solar and wind, which are 100% not all the time power sources. They don't work all the time. And if your answer is, well, we can make more batteries, now we're down to the lithium settling ponds, which are deadly poisonous. Again, and they had to dig up a big chunk of ground to make these things. There was a forest, there was a turtle's home, there was, whatever animal used to live in the dirt that they moved to make that lithium settling pond now has to find someplace else to live. Maybe they'll move to Detroit. I hear it's lovely for gophers. Point being, nothing comes without an environmental cost. And you gotta make a balance. You also have to make a balance of the human cost. If you are quite fine with people dying, and I mean large numbers of people, then just shut every single fossil fuel plant off right now. Just flip the switch. If you're not fine with that, well, then you gotta think. So, anyways, that's my rant on ecologically, but we're environmental brewers here, and that's why Steve is off camera right now, because he is reutilizing water to sanitize this, sanitize that, and not use 73 gallons of water to make 10 gallons of beer. I see there's been a comment. There has been dying orange groves around here. They put some solar farms on. I wouldn't be surprised because, you live down in Florida, you're in a warm climate anyways. And those solar farms, they increase the temperature around them. Cities. So cities are hot spots on the planet. And it's because between the concrete and the steel and the glass and all these hard surfaces, it actually concentrates and reflects and increases the heat there. So you put a dark solar panel, because almost all solar panels are dark. I don't recall seeing any white ones. All the solar panels are dark, so we know just basically that dark, tends to increase heat more. Dark colors absorb heat, light colors are less hot. So in any case, wait a minute. Oh no, I missed my hot schedule. It's okay, 8 minutes. Talking about planetary stewardship, man.
Okay.
Close enough. 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Not city center of state, Sebring. Well, no. So I'm saying, so you have an orange grove, and you put these solar panels in there, then suddenly you're increasing the heat around there. And plants don't necessarily like to be too hot. And combine that with any other global warming, whether that be human caused or anthropomorphologic. I know big words, and I can look this one up, just not right now. Point being, whether you believe that climate change is 100% the fault of humans, or it's because the planet's orbit is degrading and we are actually 0.2 light years closer to the sun than we were 50 years ago, whatever your reason, the point is that you got these orange groves and the solar panels. And let's not forget the fact that solar panels shade out the plants underneath them. And plants like sunlight. So, again, environmental cost. There is an environmental cost. Is the environmental cost worth it? Maybe it is. Will solar energy save us? I don't think it will all by itself. I think in combination with other forms and maybe just a reduction in fossil fuel energy, maybe then, it might be a balancing act between all three. Just enough poison into the planet that the planet can deal with it. Who knows? It's a balancing act. But I do know that the Northwest Brewmeisters are ecological heroes, and we do not waste water. That's why I was talking about that.
Why not? Wow, that was a long diatribe, man.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
All right.
I had to talk about something.
Right.
All right, so, hey, you know what?
Probably a good time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be all over the place.
We're
with
about to
water
be all over the place.
Sanitization and
Nathan, as always, thank you for being a loyal viewer and stuff.
Absolutely.
We had a great time tonight. Felt like it was good. The hot break was good. No disasters. Only one foul word. So we're only PG.
It wasn't even us, man.
Yeah.
It was my daughter.
We were good. We'll talk to that. You talk to her later.
All right, did. I told her straight up. I was like, if we're brewing, we're broadcasting.
The camera might not see ya, but the microphone can hear ya. All right. In any case, Nathan, thank you for showing up. Anybody who has managed to make it all the way through this watching on the replay, good on ya. If you skipped all the way to the end, you cheated. Doesn't matter. Like we always say, relax.
Don't worry. Have a
home brew. Good night.
Good night.
Gotta be
There we go.
way.
My boil was a